been all morning. Where you been?
I'm finally gonna get
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, please join the board in pledge to the flag.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the October 5th meeting we have here. If we could we have roll call, please, to the code enforcement board members?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Mrs. Monahan,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murdoch,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Spatara, Mr. Pankos,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Waters.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, could we have the approval of the minutes of July 6th, if there's no questions?
I move we accept them as printed.
Second.
Second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Could we please have the swearing in of the staff members at this time?
State your name for the record.
Alphanet Waters.
Josh Guevara.
Paula Guy.
Corey Benson. Ben Balser.
Daniel Williams.
Mike Sissio. Oscar Moreno.
Merlane DeMoise.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Okay, at this time, in most of the meetings that the county has, we give an opportunity, just for 5 minutes or less. If anybody has any public comments they'd like to make, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing here today, this would be the time to speak up. Seeing none, we will continue on. Okay, for the board on the consent agenda as prepared by staff, any questions? Need a motion to accept?
Make a motion to accept as presented.
Motion by Mr. Taylor, second by Mr.
Second.
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
All, Mr. Murdoch, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign? Okay, very good, folks. We have a fairly lengthy meeting. We'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. Some of you will have to wait a little bit longer than others, but we'll try and do the best we can. So please bear with us. Let's see where we're at. Okay, we're under violation hearings. This was continued from April 6, 2022. Case number 105577, TBD, Port St. Lucie, Florida, Pacific Creek, LLC. Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
And you also?
Please state your name,
I
if you
am
would,
Brian
and address.
Anderson. I'm counsel for the property owner.
Yes, sir. That's perfectly all right.
Angela Jeray Giles Evans, owner.
We'll let him slide.
Raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, if you'll just bear with us, we're going to hear from Mr. Sissio, and then we'll get with you folks, okay?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I noticed that the second case is also these people.
It is, and let me read that's number 2, case number 105578, O'Dennis Drive, Port St. Lucie, Florida, Pacific Creek, LLC. I just read that in so that in conversations that we may have will be, probably cover both cases.
Mr. Fogg, there's one more. Number 3.
Oh, is that also?
Yep.
All right. So I'll also read in number 3, case number 105579 of 350 Dennison Drive, Port St. Lucie, Florida, Pacific Creek, LLC. So all 3 we'll talk about. Okay, Mr. Sissio, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, members of the board. In regards to case number 105577, this case was presented during the October 2021 Code Enforcement Board meeting in which legal counsel representing the property owner was present. After testimony, the board continued the case to the April 2022 Code Enforcement Board. During the April 2022 Code Enforcement Board meeting, legal counsel again was present, as well as the property owner, and the board continued the case to the October 5th, 2022 Code Enforcement Board meeting. For the record, I'm resubmitting 7 photos, one dated on June 17th of 2020, 4 dated on July 22nd of 2020, 1 dated September 29th, 2021, and 1 dated on March 29th of 2022. I'm also resubmitting an overhead view of the property obtained from the property appraiser website. This property does belong to Pacific Creek LLC, DBA Commuter Cars. On May 27th of 2021, I found the property identified to be parcel ID 3415-502-0041-0003 in Fort Pierce to be in violation of section 11.05.01 building and side permits. A permit is required for the modular office placed on the property, including a wooden ramp, deck and rails, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing. Section 11.05.06 vegetation removal, and section 11.05.00 procedures for obtaining development permits for zoning compliance. A notice of violation was mailed on May 27th of 2021, giving a compliance date of June 10th of 2021. Since staff requested a 30-day extension from the board's original continuance to March of 2022, a new notice to appear before the April 6, 2022 Code Enforcement Board was mailed via certified mail, which was delivered and signed for on February 8th of 2022. As of October 5th of 2022, no permits have been applied for or issued, and the property remains in violation. And we do have, I believe, Mr. Corey Benton from the Planning Department here to speak if need be.
Okay, very good.
Mr. Fogg, I'm going to continue if I can. with
Please.
Case number 105578. This case was presented during the October 2021 Code Enforcement Board meeting in which legal counsel representing the property owner was present. After testimony, the board continued the case to the April 2022 Code Enforcement Board. For the record, I am resubmitting 5 photos, 3 dated July 22 of 2020, 1 dated September 29th of 2021, and 1 taken on March 29th of 2022. I'm also resubmitting an overhead view of the property obtained from the property appraiser website. This property does belong to Pacific Creek LLC, DBA Commuter Cars. On May 27th of 2021, I found the property identified to be parcel ID 3415-502-0041-0006 in Fort Pierce to be in violation of section 11.05.06 for vegetation removal and section 11.05.00 procedures for obtaining a development permit for zoning compliance. Notice of violation was mailed on May 27th of 2021, giving a compliance date of June 10th of 2021. Since staff requested a 30-day extension from the original board's date, a continuance of March of 2022, a new notice to appear for the April 6, 2022 Code Enforcement Board was mailed via certified mail, which was delivered and signed for on February 28th of 2022. As of October 5th of 2022, no permits have been applied for or issued, and the property remains in violation. In regards to case number 105579, this case was presented during the October of 2021 Code Enforcement Board meeting in which legal counsel representing the property owner was present. After testimony, the board continued the case to the April of 2022 Code Enforcement Board. For the record, I am resubmitting 6 photos, 2 dated on June 17th of 2020, 1 dated on July 22nd of 2020, 1 dated on September 29th of 2021, and 2 photos dated March 29th of 2022. I'm also resubmitting an overhead view of the property obtained from the property appraiser's website. This property does belong to Pacific Creek LLC, doing business as Commuter Cars. On May 27th of 2021, I found the property located at 350 Dennison Drive in Fort Pierce to be in violation of section 11.05.00 procedures for obtaining development permits for zoning compliance. A notice of violation was mailed on May 27th of 2021, giving a compliance date of June 10th of 2021. Since staff requested a 30-day extension from the board's original continuance date of March 22 Code Enforcement Board, a new notice to appear before the April 6, 2022 Code Enforcement Board was sent via certified mail, which was delivered and signed for on February 28th of 22. As of October 5th of 2022, no permits have been applied for or issued, and the property remains in violation.
Thank you, Mr. Ciccio. Good morning, folks. So are you or are you not in violation?
We are.
We are.
But we are making significant progress. When we were here 6 months ago, there were roughly 7 outstanding issues. The majority of them were vegetation issues, which have been resolved through the environmental department. Related to vegetation removal permits, those were applied for and obtained, I believe, as of June. There are 2 remaining issues, and one is the building permit associated with the modular office, which was depicted in the photos there, and the other is the zoning compliance, which requires a pretty substantial site plan. Because it's 2.5 acres commercial, it was 4 separate parcels. Since then, we've combined 2 sets of 2, so it's now a front parcel and a back parcel through the unities of title.
If I may, really quick, sorry to interrupt, Brian, but this is where my confusion came in when we spoke earlier. When you said the second parcel, but now that's one. So the first two are now one, and the second two are now one. So that's where the confusion came in with the modular. Just wanted to clarify that real quick.
And so with respect to the modular office that is not compliant, what has occurred, there's a separate modular office that existed on what was formerly a separate parcel, which had some issues. That has been,
Since the 80s, it's the original structure.
That was the original, that was the original module in the front, okay.
and so the one that had issues has been, it's been demolished and removed, permitted through a general contractor. That took pretty much all of the 6 months that we've had since the last meeting. We had to go through 3 separate contractors, a couple of no-shows. But the plan there is the front office that was unusable has been removed in order to replace that with a new building, and then the one that is not compliant can be removed so that the business can continue operating. Because if we just remove the one office that's usable and replace that, which is the one that's not compliant, then we don't have an office to use to operate the business.
Excuse
So
me,
we're-
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, can
Yes.
can you look at the screen and tell us what you're talking about in relation to
On
the
the
screen?
far left there, the 3 structures there, so the modular office that's horizontal is the one that is not compliant. The ones to the left are,
The existing structures that have been there since, I want to say beginning of time, but
You're
those are
right.
the ones that were correct,
Yes.
supposed to be there. Just a reminder to the board, the hostile ex-partner had brought in the
So the
back
mo-
trailer unpermitted, and that's what's in violation. So in order to make this work, we had to remove the front existing, which was always there, permitted, removed. That is a garage in the middle, so the very front. Yes, ma'am, thank you. So that one has now been demolished and removed, which
That's-
allows us to bring in a permitted replacement and then remove the one that's in violation.
So that's been removed now.
Yep, and I have pictures for you guys. I didn't know, I made a copy.
Yeah,
for you.
I'm just a little
that's-
confused of what building, looks like there's 5 or 6 different buildings here.
We are talking about just the 3 right now, but the one in the middle is just a drive-through garage. So the front one, all the way to the west, again, was the original structure.
The one that's,
One more over to the west. Yep. That was the original structure that was deemed unusable.
isn't that the east that you're moving to? Aren't you on
No,
the?
that's the west side on.
West side of our property.
They're on the east side of US 1, but that's the west side of her piece of property.
So they are working, existing, the sales trailer is the horizontal one that is
Should be
to the
upside down.
east. That was in violation because it was brought in unpermitted.
Okay.
So in order to continue to work, the first step to remove that is to still provide us with a office to work
Okay,
in.
so the module is the one in the second building?
This is gone. That's gone.
That's
the
gone.
drive-through garage. Yes.
Okay,
And what's the story with that one?
That one is the sales trailer that was brought in unpermitted,
Correct.
Okay,
which will be removed as soon as the very front one has been replaced permitted.
so broadly speaking, it's a 3-step replacement process. We've got to,
Okay.
we have removed the old one. We need to replace the old one before we can remove the
Okay.
structure that's in violation.
is the module going back in the place of the original one
Yes,
in front?
yes, a new permanent.
A new,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And then the building behind that, one that's being removed, not all the way to the back, the second building here, that is a garage?
The one in the middle is the garage.
Yes. Okay,
Over there between the.
Yes,
Marked
garage.
100 and 100.
And
Yeah.
the back one,
Yes.
right
that's-
there, that is the one in violation, which will be removed.
okay, all right. And everything has been permitted so far, except for that one that we have the arrow on, correct?
Correct.
Okay, is
That one's going away, so it doesn't matter. We're taking care of it, taking it away.
Okay, and time frame wise on that?
6 to 8 months possibly, it just depends
Okay.
on what it's gonna take. Right now with the recent events in Florida, it may be a little bit harder to find a
I would say so.
trailer that is affordable.
I understand that.
And so that addresses the remaining permitting issue with respect to the structures. The other more significant issue is the zoning compliance, which requires a pretty significant site plan. I don't believe the development permit has been issued, but we've been working with at our last meeting, we had the project designer, Todd Mowry, was here. He was unable to attend today. And we've got the Treasure Coast General Contractors as the builder. They've been working together with
Okay.
the owner, over the last few months. It requires a lot because it's commercial. There are drainage easements. There's, you know, a lot of
Understand that.
moving
Yeah.
parts to the site
Yes.
plan. So it's in the works. They've been doing a lot of work, countless hours, a lot of
So
money
the-
being spent.
Okay, so the code part of this is the building in the back, basically.
Correct.
All right, and you say it's gonna take 7 months before you get that out of there?
I'm hoping it's under 6 months, but I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
So at the very least, we need to meet back in 6 months.
Mr. Chairman, I got maybe a dumb question here, but it says a vegetation removal permit required, which is the second part. Has
Yeah.
that been dealt with?
I don't know, I'm trying to get through the
He
first
said
part.
at the beginning it has.
Yeah,
Have you
the-
let Mr. Sisio know that it's been dealt with?
Not directly.
Yeah,
well, we need to
that
let
went through
him
the
know.
environmental department.
I'll check with the RD about that and confirm it.
Okay, but I think
Okay.
it helps if one of you call him and tell him what you've done to keep him abreast
You've
so it
been
gets
by
out
there,
of the
have you not?
computer.
I have, yeah.
Okay, all right, because we need to know, and because, of course, you're here because of the code, such as that zoning, I understand all of that and everything. But all the permitting has been handled so far, except for this one building that we haven't done, correct?
Correct, because that's not going to be done. It
All
will
right,
be
Ms.
removed.
Waters, is there anything, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, is there anything that we need to know about permitting or anything on this? Are you familiar with any of this?
A little bit, they need the vegetation removal permit. You already have that, but we
Yes,
need the site development permit before we can issue the building permits. So in the process, they have to finish the site development permit before we can issue a permit for them to put the modular back on there.
Correct, which is one thing that we wanted to bring up. So in our low-hanging fruit that we've been trying to knock off, some of these items, for example, creating a barrier between the two parcels, so that way there's not traffic going through without having an access easement approved. Clearing out the entire back, which again, I provided pictures, so there's no more parking out in the back along that road that goes along the drainage, which is on the very east side, as well as on the north side, which is the FPL exotic vegetation side. With landscape buffers that needed to be put in on the original site plan that was presented to us, we have ran into a ton of issues, which is why we, in getting together again with general contractor, Treasure Coast General Contractor, Todd Mowry, Eddie Beck, Brian Anderson, walking the site, there are things that we need planning to probably come walk the site with us. So
Okay.
within the next month, we are going to be submitting that request in writing because there are several things that need to be looked at. We spent thousands of dollars removing that vegetation on the north side.
Okay,
And within 2 months, all of the FPL exotic vegetation grew back. Anything that we spend on to put a landscape buffer on that side is going to be consumed by that FPL vegetation, and then it's going to die. And I'm not willing to throw away thousands of dollars. I just don't have it.
Understand.
So it's just not the way we need to do it. We need to submit in writing. It's a complaint to the county. I guess you guys have to have it too, along with FPL, to try to ask for help because they need to put in, what was the exact wording for that? A vegetation setback.
Okay.
Does that sound right? On that north side. So we're going to actually file that complaint asking for help because we've gotten nowhere just making phone
Okay.
calls. So there's, on the east side, it looks like the drainage, there's that canal that goes towards Indian River Estates, and it is maintained by county as well as mosquito control. So part of the landscape buffer that they want us to do is then gonna block the county's access to that part. So I think one side's maybe not talking to the other or doesn't realize what that access is used for on the county side. So that's something that needs to be looked at, as well as we feel like the drainage has actually eroded away some of our property. So we actually need some boots on the ground with this. So within the next month, we're gonna be requesting that to see who can actually come physically with us, everybody present at the same time, to kind of modify that site plan.
Okay.
Because on paper, it makes sense based on the book of code, but when you're actually there on the physical property, some of these items don't. They might need
Okay.
to be modified.
you hold on just a minute. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
It's nice to see you.
It's very
Can
nice.
you help us out, please?
I can attempt to.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's state your name for the record.
Fondra Lanise, Business Navigator.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I actually met with Todd Mowry and the planner working on this project to hear Curry yesterday. Many of the challenges that have just been enumerated were exactly the topic of Todd's discussion. What we told him was that although we have little to no control over FP&L and the plants that are basically, from what I understand, as quickly as they're removing them, the plants are growing back. That we have a challenge with. But we did say that what we would do is set up a meeting with the Environmental Resources Department, the Public Works Department, who would be over the stormwater and drainage, as well as the paving, and then also with the maintenance group that is responsible for maintaining the canal at the back of the property, for exactly as you described, a site visit to walk through and see where there might be flexibility. We understand that one of the challenges that's presented is that they will lose parking area because of all this, which they've already had to bring their business model back into a smaller footprint already. I don't know what the resolution of that will be,
So
nor
there-
how long it might take.
So you're all gonna get together and hopefully you're all gonna agree or disagree to agree, right? Is that what
That's
that's
the
gonna
hope.
be?
With all the
I
pointy heads
understand.
in one location, we hope we can get them together. But I honestly cannot give you an update as to what the resolution might be
Yeah.
or how long it might take.
Okay, so do you know, okay, so you don't know how long it's gonna take, and, which I understand, we understand that as a board, I think. All I'm trying to do is just figure out what we're gonna do time-wise for them,
Yeah.
on the violations that that is showing here, or could be violations they have
My
here now.
anticipation is that we will be looking at a waivers, deferrals, and alternatives application that will be associated with the zoning compliance in order to memorialize whatever plan we come up with. But beyond that, I can't tell
Okay,
you.
so do you think you plan on having this meeting soon? Is this gonna be a long time, or is this gonna be in a week
I'd
or
like
so?
to
or a few
Suggested to
days?
Mr. Almaury sooner rather than later.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all right, so, now, board?
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I have a question of staff.
yes, sir.
Typically, we like to give time to resolve issues with this, so my question of staff would be, in the event we give time to let this process play out, is there any harm to the community if we allow this process to play out before we hear this case?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Assistant County Attorney Catherine Barbieri. I mean, we do want them to come into compliance. We'd like them, to be operating. There is, of course, harm. You can see the cars are sitting there. I mean, there's reasons for site plans. We don't do them to, we want the surfaces for the cars to sit on. We want them operating in buildings that have been permitted. We want the vegetation where it's supposed to be. So yes, there is some harm. Is it urgent? Not necessarily urgent, but I do want you to consider the fact that the original notice of violation went out in May of 2021. We didn't do a notice to appear until February 2022. So some of these things that are happening now that are going to take a while maybe could have been started a little sooner.
Okay, all right, so having said that, so the violation on, right now is on the one building.
There's 3 cases. It's not just the one building. They
Oh, I'm
need the
sorry.
site plan.
Okay.
We've been told that the vegetation permit has been resolved. We have not been able to confirm that. But we need a site plan. We need the building put in. We need to figure out, with the site plan, the zoning compliance is where all these other issues that they're stating will come into, which is gonna be what they do with the drainage in the back, what they do with their landscaping around there. Where are they gonna put the cars? Is there the proper surface underneath them? Are all the buildings that are there now gonna be permitted? We understand there's been some challenges with this one, with the unity of title, but it is getting a lengthy process, and some things could have been started sooner. But there are 3 cases. There's more than just the one building.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
I feel like that if we table this to December, that will give them a couple of months to get staff out there, reevaluate what's going on, maybe get a better idea of the time that they're actually going to need to get this in the process of getting it resolved. I was wondering if anybody on the board would be up for that.
I support
Thank you.
that, but I think we should give them more time.
Well,
Okay.
right now,
Go- try
some,
to-
some of these things have been resolved, so.
Well,
and-
some have, and they can get together and work that out
Yeah,
with
and
themselves.
I think 2
But-
months should be 2 months should be ample time for staff, you guys to kind of get your ducks in a row, so to speak.
Maybe, it's a
And
lot of moving
then-
parts.
In December, you can come back and say, okay, Mr. Sucio has eliminated some of this stuff, some of it's been resolved, this has been done, this has been done, and we can kind of get an update with the planning staff, everybody. Then we can sit down and say, okay, this is where we are, where do we need to go, and how to approach that. So,
As chairman, would want to think that December is a time frame, but I would want to think that we would take it till after the first of the year, to maybe January.
I'd be better
and
with
start out
the-
at that time,
the
and then that
meeting
way
in
we can
January.
get through, because
in other words, get past the
all the
holidays.
confusion, the holidays, and all the other things that are going on here. I think that we would be good, even though I know we talked about these things that we have here, but at that time, we just, it's okay to put things off, but somewhere has to stop. And we want to work with you, but we need to know for sure what's going on here, and right now, we really don't have a clear picture.
And one of the things you guys need to be is in touch with Mr. Sissio there so that he's updated.
I have a comment.
Did you want to
Pardon?
give the
I have a
permit
comment
numbers for the
also on the,
vegetation?
Mr. Marbury,
I'll just-
this has
I'll
been going on
send
since
it to
May
you.
of 2021.
Mr. Sissio.
A lot of stuff should have been done or on track before they even moved into place. And
Yeah.
the recommendation of staff is November 4th of 2022.
Moved in? We've been
Then
with that
what,
property for 14
what do
years.
you prefer?
I'm not,
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I understand
I mean,
that
what's-
that's there.
what's
And
done
you
is
see where
done.
we're getting at, there's some things here that need to be cleared up because we have these violations and we've been going along. But if we do this and you come back in January, it might be a completely different, review from us to you as to where we're at as far as the violation hearings. Does that make sense? If we were to do that, does anybody else on the board have any questions?
Mr. Chair, I typically wouldn't say this, but another path can be taken, because we've taken up a lot of time here. This is all gonna happen all over again. We're gonna rediscuss this at the next meeting. There's another path that can be taken. While it seems uncomfortable, I hate to encumber anything, but if we were to put a fine on this property, and after this goes forward, you finish your process, hopefully that wouldn't hold up the process, come back and ask for a reduction. Could be anywhere from a reduction in a fine to wiping out the fine altogether later on, and we wouldn't have to hear this again. I'm just throwing that out.
Okay.
If, I don't know if any of the rest of the board would like to do
Right.
that, but
Comment from the board?
Well, we can also extend it out, to say like April, make it
I
that
would
much
rather-
time. And then say this is a violation, then it has to go to the fine time, and then we can extend it again if we need to.
why don't you make that motion, Ms. Monahan?
Okay, are you okay, Mr. Murdoch, or?
Well, I would like, some of the stuff that's on this paper has been resolved, and I'd kind of like to see an update before.
Before we take it to that step?
Yeah, before we take
I
it to that
kinda
step,
get that
because a
too.
lot of this stuff, if they've got it resolved already, they just didn't notify staff, and therefore, so let's get an update to see what fines still exist in January.
We sort of kind of know.
We gotta do something here, so let's
All right,
go.
I have a motion, and then we'll see where it goes, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I hereby move in reference to case number 105577, that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violations, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day. No, I'm in the wrong place.
Page 3.
Thank you. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by May the 1st, 2023, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pancoast. Roll call, please.
For discussion,
Yes.
once again, for the defendant that's here to understand what has been proposed here. I can tell you as a board member, once this is completed and it's brought back, if it's disposed of, at that point, I would be very inclined to vote for a reduction at a later date, should that come before this board, if it's taken care of. Just for discussion. Thank you.
And I'm on board with Mr. Waters that we go through this process. If it can't be done by that day and you do get fined, and then you get it all cleaned up, come back with a fine reduction, and
The reason for this is to get it off from our, the fact that there is a violation, and to understand that within what we're doing. And like we're saying here, and I know we're under question and all that, just so you'll know, the stuff. But between now and May, we expect all these things, or most of these things, will be handled, correct?
And if they're not,
We can check.
this is just, we're saying you are in violation. You still have to come back for a fine hearing. If you're not done by then, we can postpone that fine hearing too. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If we decide to do that, that doesn't mean it's a carte blanche, well, we'll just go back and it's gonna go here, because somewhere you could get caught in this situation where it could cost you money other than what you're spending. We don't wanna do that, but we just have to go forward with the way we do our work, okay? Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Monahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murdoch?
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pancoast?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
In reference to case number 105578, the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determined the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by May the 1st, 2023, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Here, a second.
Second,
Second by Mr. Murdoch. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Monahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murdoch?
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pancoast?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
And we have case number 105579. I hereby move in reference to that case that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determined the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by May the 1st, 2023, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Monahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murdock?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, folks, you're given till May, and the reason for that, wouldn't normally do something like this, but because of the circumstances involved, the 3 parcels of, we know what you're going through, but we have to do something on our end also to make it, for us to make it. So you won't have to see us again until May, and when you see us in May, hopefully everything is gonna be beautiful.
I hope so.
Okay, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to forward, case number 106984, has been abated. We are on number 5, case number CMD 107633, 200 Olive Avenue, Port St. Lucie, Florida, Ryan and Salen Curran. Good morning. Please go to the microphone and state your name and address, please.
I'm sorry?
State your name and address.
Salini Curran, 200 Olive Avenue, Port St. Lucie.
Okay, all right. Would you
Raise your
raise your
right
right hand?
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to hear from Mr. Sissio, and then we'll speak with you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
This case was presented during the August 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting. After testimony, the case was continued to the October 5th, 2022 Code Board meeting. For the record, I'm resubmitting 10 photos, 7 taken on March 22nd of 2022, and 3 taken on July 22nd of 2022 when its notice to appear was posted at the property address of 200 Olive Avenue in Port St. Lucie. I'm also submitting 1 photo taken on October 3rd, 2022 during a follow-up inspection. On March 22nd of 2022, I found the property located at 200 Olive Avenue in Port St. Lucie to be in violation of section 11.05.01, building and sign permits. A permit is required for the dock extension with the tiki structure, and section 11.05.01, building and sign permits. A permit is required for the pergola located in the front of the property. Notice of violation was mailed on March 22nd of 2022, which gave a compliance date of April 5th of 2022. I did speak with the property owner, Mr. Ryan Curran, during my site visit, as well as after to explain the methods of compliance. After obtaining no compliance, a notice to appear for the August 3rd, 2022 Code Enforcement Board was sent via certified mail, which remained undelivered. A copy of the notice to appear was posted on the property on July 22nd of 2022. I've had additional contact from the property owner as well as environmental engineer Linda Pitts. I spoke to Mrs. Pitts on October 4th of 2022, and she emailed me approval from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection that was obtained on October 3rd. I spoke to Mr. Curran as well, and he stated that he has obtained engineered drawings for the pergola. He is currently out of state and will be submitting for permits as an owner-builder within the next few weeks. As of October 5th of 2022, no permits have been applied for or issued, and the property remains in violation. And if the board desires, I do have the approval from DEP in hand if you want to see it.
Okay, very good. Ma'am, are you in violation or are you not?
Yes.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. So what is the plan here? What's gonna happen? And we've been, you've been cited, and it doesn't seem like it's going very well.
We have engineered drawings for the pergola in the approval for the FD, EP for the dock, for the new dock.
Okay.
And we just need 6 days for 60 days extension.
60 days?
Yes.
Okay, and in 60 days you can get that all done. You're gonna turn your permits in. Because I just noticed in conversation, and not per verba what he said, but I think your husband, the gentleman, said in a few weeks or whatever, he's gonna turn it in. He might, it sounds like whenever he gets a chance, he's gonna turn it in. Doesn't really work that way. We're a little more time certain on that. So I'll just pass that off to the board and we can go accordingly.
Mr. Fogg, just to clarify, the Currans do live out of state. This is their second home. They live in Boston. He is an electrician out of state, which is why he's not currently here.
Yeah, okay. And but I just wanted to make comment the fact that, it's not a casual thing. It's a day, it's gotta get done.
Understood.
No matter where you live. you live in California, it's the same thing. We're in Florida, and you're here. We're glad you're here. And it,
Me too.
but, it's gotta be handled. Okay?
I just have a question, Mr. Sissio. Do you know who the contractor is who built that?
I do not know. I think he did it, according to what Mr. Kern was saying, he did it with friends, but I don't know if a contractor was involved.
Good job, whoever did it.
Very good job.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice
But
job.
they should have known, you gotta get permits for that. I'm gonna follow up on who the contractor was that did that, all that work.
Very well done, very well done. But just gonna go a little bit further.
Yeah, no, we stopped
So it,
a long time ago.
anyway, so we're looking for a motion or looking for a.
Should we do a date certain, or
I
should
would do
we
a date
just post?
certain. I would wanna think.
I would think December 1st would be sufficient.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Peggy, please.
Okay, I hereby move in reference to case number CMD 107633, that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the violation in fact did occur, and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by December 1st, 2022, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock. Call a question. Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Mrs. Monahan,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg,
Yes, ma'am?
Mr. Taylor,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murdock,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pancoast,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Waters.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, very good. You've been given till December to go ahead and make sure that you get that turned in, and get your permit.
Thank you.
All right?
Thanks.
Very good job so far. Thank you. Okay, we're on number 6, case number 2204-10-8023 has been abated. We are going to 7, case number, CO code 2204-107987, 2010 37th Street, Fort Pierce, Eugene A. Williams. Mr. Williams here, and Patricia G. Williams. Neither one? Okay, going to number 8, case number code 2208-108587, 6505 Paso Robles Boulevard. Joseph Tenor, Erica Tenor. Anybody representing those folks?
I think this man's walking.
No, it's not him.
Okay. Nope.
Yes, not. Okay, we're going to number 9, case number code 2208-108-627, 2806 Jefferson Parkway, Fort Pierce, Travis Anderson, March.
Morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good, welcome.
Well, the next case is also theirs.
Also, I'm going to read into the other, there's another case, thank you, Richard. Case number code 2208-10-8649, 2806 Jefferson Parkway, Fort Pierce, Florida. Travis Anderson, March, their companion cases. Okay, sir, please state your name and address.
It's Travis Anderson March, and it's 2806 Jefferson Parkway, Fort Pierce.
Okay, very good. Is the lady gonna speak?
It's my wife. She'll speak if she needs to. Sometimes
Okay, then she needs to, please state your name.
Ashley Lacanino.
Okay, all right.
Can you
Raise your right hand.
spell your last name?
LACAGNINA.
We're working on that last name.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, just bear with us. We're gonna hear from, our man this morning. Maury, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
Good, and yourself?
Great.
Good morning. For the record, I am submitting one photo dated August the 16th, 2022, one photo dated September the 8th, 2022, one photo dated September the 26th, 2022, and one photo dated October the 3rd, 2022. During my inspection, I found the property located at 2806 Jefferson Parkway be in violation of section 3824, abandoned property. Please remove the large tree stump from the county right-of-way. I issued a notice of violation letter on October the 23rd, 2022, and get a compliance date of August the 19th, 2022. After getting a compliance certified notice to appear for the October 5th, 2022 court board meeting was issued on September 9th, 2022. I have made contact with the owner. As October the 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, is there another case number you wanna read that too?
Yes, sir. For the record, I am submitting 3 photos dated August the 18th, 2022, 2 photos dated September 8th, 2022, 2 photos dated September 26th, 2022, and 2 photos dated October the 3rd, 2022. During my inspection, I found the property located at 2806 Jefferson Parkway to be in violation of section 11.05.01, building and sign permit. Please obtain a permit for the shed. Section 11.05.03, notice of vegetation removal. Please obtain an after the fact vegetation removal permit. Section 8.00.03, outdoor storage of recreational equipment. Please place the trailer on a paved surface or move to the side or rear of the property. I issued a notice of violation letter on August 19, 2022, and get a compliance date of September 2nd, 2022. After getting a compliance certified notice to appear letter for the October 5th, 2022, full board meeting was issued on September 9th, 2022. I have made contact with the owner, and as of October the 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, thank you very much, Maurice. So are you in violation or are you not?
Yeah, I guess I am, yes.
Okay, all right, very good. So what are we doing to handle it?
So, we have secured a permit for the vegetation.
Okay.
And, as far as the shed goes, you know, we purchased the property in October, and, the shed was there existing. We had no idea that it was in violation.
Okay.
But, it seems like somebody should have let us know that, before we purchased the property, but,
Doesn't
the
always
tree
happen.
stumps, and with all due respect, the trees were my neighbor's trees, but they were falling onto my roof. And I don't, those pictures really don't dictate the damage that the trees caused my roof. But then my neighbor could not afford to remove the trees. When we purchased the home, it's not like the city sends out a pamphlet that says, hey, don't cut a tree down unless you ask us.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? But I called, yeah, so I called the Waste Pro and said, hey, look, we're getting ready to take these trees down, and just wanted to make sure we're not, you know, we can set it out here on the side of the road. So we asked permission from Waste Pro, not the city, sorry. But
The county.
of what, yeah, so, yeah, sorry, the county. We asked them what the guidelines were for the length of the tree that it needs to be. We were well within those guidelines. The gentleman that came out to pick up the trees, his truck was too small to pick them up. He said he was gonna send another truck to pick them up. That never happened. The gentleman came out, he measured the tree stumps, he measured everything, said they're within the guidelines, we should be able to pick them up, no problem.
Okay.
Never came to pick them up, and instead of picking them up or doing anything else or knocking on my door or something, he calls code enforcement, and code enforcement, you know, your guys just found all kind of other problems.
Right.
So we're trying to fix everything as we can. The shed, I need an engineer. Engineers are 6 to 10 weeks out. Turns out that the shed's too close to the fence anyway, so I have to move the shed.
Is this something you just purchased, you said, recently?
Yeah, we just purchased in October, so it's been about a year now.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but again, we didn't know that the shed was in the wrong place. We also didn't know it didn't have a permit pulled for it. It seems like the title company should have gave us that information, but it is what it is. At this point, we just need some time
Okay.
to get
get
the engineer to get a drawing for us.
Okay. And you said you did get a permit already for one?
For the vegetation, for the
Did
tree
you?
removal.
Okay, and Ms. Waters, do you have that?
Alphanet Waters, Assistant Building Official.
Uh-huh.
For the record, they've applied for a vegetation removal permit, but it's still in review. It has not been issued yet.
Right.
Yeah, we just
Okay.
haven't.
Is there any problems with it, or do you know?
Let's see if there's any notes.
Just trying to help you out to see if there's anything.
What do we?
It's waiting on review. No
It's
problems
waiting on a
as of
review?
yet, just waiting for review.
Okay, all right, very good.
What kind of, just for clarification and understanding really, is what kind of problems could we face if there is a problem for trees that have already been removed?
You will have to abate them, you will have to replant a tree. If it was a native tree, you'll have to replant it or possibly two. But Josh, you have any more information on that, or?
What kind of trees were they, do you know?
They were oak trees, but
And they were
two of
rotted.
them were dead. They had nothing, no branches, no anything on them.
Did you tell them that?
Told
At the
who-
permit
told
place?
who- yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we
we
did
wrote
put
it,
that in
we
there,
wrote it in
yes.
there.
Yeah.
They were infested with termites, which were getting into I have a wood framed home. And, you know, obviously there was millions of termites that were inside of this tree as well that destroyed it, which is kind of why it was on that leaning
Okay.
post.
Well, I have a question.
That's a question for
But again, it
Environmental
was
Resources
my neighbor's
Department,
trees.
and they
Yeah.
would tell them during the review
Yeah, that's
process
part of
if
the
any
process.
mitigation is going to take place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
I just got a dumb question here, Ms. Barbieri. If Mother Nature takes down a tree, is the property owner responsible for planting another tree?
You mean if it's dead? You mean if
Assistant
it's
County
dead?
Attorney Catherine
Yeah, if it's dead
Barbieri.
or, you know.
It depends. If it is if it's a required tree under the code, then yes. If it's just a tree that happens to have been, that somebody left on the lot, like on site plans, you got required landscaping, there is some required, I think, on residential. But, you know, if it's not a required tree, then no.
Okay, well,
It is-
second
it is
question.
like
And I
Industrial
don't know in
property,
this
too.
situation.
Hold on. Did you not say this is your neighbor's tree?
It is my neighbor, all three of them were my neighbor's trees.
But he couldn't afford to
So-
remove them.
Is he responsible for his neighbor's trees being replanted?
He cut them. He put, and we cited them right now. I don't know what will happen on that, sir. We're speculating. What we've cited him for is the stumps on the side of it and assisting. We did cite him for assisting with the vegetation removal permit because he cut them. So at this point, he needs to work with the ERD.
But he didn't
Okay.
cut them, they fell on his property.
No,
He
sir,
just
he
cleaned
cut
them
them.
up, right?
Those are cut.
He cut them.
They were
They-
falling
they
on
were
the
cut?
property and
The
we cut
the trees were, two of the trees were dead and had no branches, no nothing on them.
and we're leaning on our
But
roof.
they were leaning in the direction of
Oh,
our
okay.
home and the
All right,
homeowner
well,
couldn't afford it.
Since you cut them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, I'm not arguing
Okay,
the fact
we're
that
not gonna-
Well, I was
If you
just
want me
trying
to
to
plant a tree, I
clarify
don't
for
care, I'll plant a
myself,
tree, you know what I
as to
mean?
what's going on here? Okay, I'm
I
sorry,
do
go
have,
ahead.
I do have plans, to put in a driveway back there, which is one of the reasons why I coordinated with the neighbor, was so that I could put a driveway back there that goes towards my back. I own a business, I work out of my home with that business, which is why you see the trucks there and the trailers.
That's why we need to
So we needed the space, his tree was encroaching onto our property, and obviously there were damaged trees. We're not here to cause problems, we wanna do everything the right way, but when we purchased the
Whatever you
home,
do,
it's
get
not
a
like somebody
permit.
sent us a pamphlet that says, hey, don't cut a tree.
Yeah, we
So-
didn't know that we needed to apply for the permit.
Or I would have.
Yeah.
So here we go with this, and you're telling us a lot of things and all that. So just make sure that we in this county, like many counties, but we need permits on just about anything that takes place like this. That's why you're here today.
Yeah.
So anything going forward and all that,
Absolutely.
make sure that you get permits for what you do and make sure it's legal to what you do.
It's
Just a
'cause there's other
suggestion from the
trees-
board.
There's other trees on the property,
Yeah.
in the front of the property that we would like removed, but
Okay.
I don't know if I need a permit for those trees.
Yep.
So they're bushes you need a permit for as well?
And talk to you, and I tell you what,
Ms. Williams.
Oh, I've
trying
tried
to
calling,
answer.
I don't get answers.
You have to contact our environmental resource department. They'll be able to advise you what needs to be done.
Okay, so that's where I applied for the permit for the.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, cool.
and anything else that you might have, you can talk with a representative that goes ahead and comes out there. And Maury, that you can talk to him, or he'll talk to you if you have any questions.
What needs and what doesn't.
Right,
need. Okay,
what's
good.
needed, I mean, because you're not gonna come to us all the time or call everybody else.
Right.
But, he can help you out a great deal.
Mr. Chair,
Okay,
I'm willing to make a motion, based on the condition of the property, which is, it's a beautiful home, painted, and it's clean yard. I'm willing to give you some time, and I would make a motion to
yes, sir.
postpone this case. And I'd be glad to put that in the form of a motion. All right, I hereby move in reference to case number, code 2208-108627, that the Code Enforcement Board continue this case to the February 1st board meeting.
Second.
Hold on, can I ask a question?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
make a comment?
Sure.
I think I'd be calling Waste Pro or whoever it was you called
Oh, I
daily.
called him.
to get rid of that.
Yeah, no, I've called him and we've cut down the stumps a little bit. We paid a guy to do it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it
Yeah.
hasn't worked out the way.
We got a
planned.
motion, we're gonna have to go forward here. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a motion.
Yeah,
Any more
second.
questions?
Yep.
You second it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard Panko seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like time? Okay, would you do the next one, please?
There's a second
Waters.
case.
Mr. Chair, hang on, let me get back to,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, hold tight for a bit.
hang on
Nobody's
just a second, I lost my page over here.
3,
No,
No, we're gonna continue.
oh,
I was gonna
Just
continue the
continue.
case. Give me just a second, I lost my place here. 8 here.
Oh, you can kind of see the
9.
damage from the tree on the roof.
9, thank you. Mr. Chair, I hereby move in reference to case number 2208-108649, that Code Enforcement Board continue this case to the February 1st board meeting of 2023.
Okay, second by Mr. Murdoch.
Yes, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, guys, you got till after Christmas, you got February next year, but get it done before then if you can.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
And use due diligence. Don't forget permitting.
Oh, no, we're on it.
Okay? All right, very good. Thank you for your time.
And talk to Mr. Moreira about what gets done, so he gets it off your list.
We contacted him.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, number 11, case number 2207-108-406-3207 Industrial 31st Street, Into It Transport LLC. And the last section on here has already been removed, building and sign permits. Hi, folks, please state your name and address.
Shannon Pwanski, 3207 Industrial 31st Street, Fort Pierce.
Okay.
Lindsay Pwanski, 3207 Industrial 31st Street, Fort Pierce.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, if you just bear with us, we're gonna hear from Mr. Moran, and we'll be with you, okay? Yes, sir.
For the record, I am submitting 4 photos dated July 1st, 2022, 1 photo dated September 26th, 2022, 4 photos dated October 4, 2022. During my first inspection, I found the property located at 3207 Industrial 31st Street in violation for Section 11.0501, Building and Sign Permits. Please obtain a permit for the electric and plumbing work. Section 11.05.00, Procedures for obtaining development permits. Please obtain a zoning compliance permit. Section 42-103, Payment of tax prerequisite to engage in business. Please obtain a business tax receipt. I issued a notice of violation later on July the 12th, 2022, with a compliance date of July 26, 2022. After getting no compliance, a notice to appear for the October 5th, 2022 court board meeting was issued on August the 15th, 2022. I have remained in contact with the owner. As of October 4th, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, very good, folks. Are you in violation or are you not?
Yes, we are still.
Okay, please explain what we're doing.
So we've made some progress. There were a lot of things going into owning a building that we didn't know we needed to do.
Okay.
And we have remedied some of them still working on. We've applied for the zoning compliance. We are waiting on an engineer. We've contacted an engineer. Of course, with everything that happened in Fort Myers, they've gone
Right.
there. So we just need a little bit more time. We have an electrician coming to fill the hole in that box, the electrical box.
Right.
And we are working on pulling permits for the plumbing with a licensed contractor as well for the hose bib that was outside.
Okay, very good. So you're looking to get all of this done, and are you painting the building, or is that just,
It's just old.
It's just it's just an old building? And let me see, where is this? Industrial 31st Street, okay, very good. Is there anything from any of the board members?
How much time do you think it'll take you to get everything sorted out?
I think we're thinking about 6 months. If I could have 6 months for having the planning, and then we're still waiting on zoning. So as far as once we get to that,
yeah.
But the electric, Richmond Electric is coming to do the electric come Friday.
Okay.
I'll have that taken care of on Friday.
Do you have an occupational license? Did you get an
Yeah.
occupational license already?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, all right, very good.
It says they are in violation of not having one.
Well, we've,
Yeah, that's.
okay, I guess I'm confused on that a little bit. I thought that was different than zoning compliance.
That is,
It is different.
yes,
So we haven't finished our zoning compliance.
okay. Can you not, let me ask the staff, Catherine, can you, Ms. Barbary, good morning.
Good morning.
Can-
This is
can-
Assistant Counselor Catherine Barbieri. I'm not sure what.
You have to, the question is, on getting a license, you come to town and you get a license, you have to have the zoning first before you can get a business license? Or an occupational license?
Or a business tax receipt.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So you have to have zoning and then you get your business tax.
we had our business tax receipt when we were still a home-based, and when I went online to renew, I just assumed it was as simple as changing my address. It was not.
Nothing
So
simple.
We just bought the building in December of last year.
Okay.
So we
So-
were running a home-based business and then just moved forward,
Right.
buying a building and growing and didn't
Okay.
know what we were kind of getting into.
And you
as far
moved the
as-
business license from your home to this?
We were trying to. That's where we came into our compliance issue. We didn't even know until we applied to change the address.
Right, so when you change the address, we didn't have the zoning right. So now we're going through the zoning to get to renew the business license.
Okay, yes, that was my question.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
it looks to me you've got an electrical permit to pull, you got an air conditioning permit to pull. These are typically short-term to be able to pull those. It's obvious that it's a commercial structure. You shouldn't have any problem with getting your zoning and what have you. I don't think you need a whole lot
Okay.
of time to be able to make that happen. You could remedy this in a fairly short amount of time. I'm inclined to postpone the case and probably not see you again if I give you enough time for that. I think you should be able to do that within, be honest with you, 30 days. But I'm inclined to give you till.
So my engineer is the problem with the 30 days. It's going to be
What
75.
are you having to get engineered? Just curious.
To bring us into zoning compliance, we have to have an engineer draw the plans.
Are
I've
you
spoken
doing a
a new business. That's what we've been told we have to do to bring it into compliance, have an engineer.
are you building something inside of it?
We are not.
What, I'm not sure what you need an engineer for.
Alphanet Water's assistant building official, they need an engineer because they're changing the use of the building, the occupancy of the use of the building. So they need a floor plan of the building telling us how they're gonna use it and what plumbing fixtures are in there, so we can make sure the business has everything per code to operate. So they're doing a change of use on this building to start their business in. And that's why they need a
that's interesting.
design professional to tell them what they need in the building for that particular business. And they'll draw out plans for them, and then we'll review them and say, you have this in your business, and then we'll issue, the zoning compliance.
And we can't use the former tenant's drawings, correct?
Depends how old the drawings are, because the code changes every 3 years. And if the drawings are, older than 3 years, the code may have changed and the drawings may not be compliant.
Okay, so
If
they
I-
were
if
drawn
I
in
may ask,
2010.
The process.
Yes, sir.
I mean, when you call for an inspection to go out there, the inspector doesn't look and say what's existing here is in compliance with the zoning that's already there? I mean,
No,
I'm
sir.
assuming it's already zoned for this?
It let me look at, I can tell you what it was zoned for previously, but because I've already reviewed this business, the previous business was a different occupation or, occupancy or a different use. Even if it's a business, say it's a dentist office, and they wanna change it to a doctor's office, it's still a business, but they're changing the use. So we need drawings to show us what the building is gonna be used for, to make sure that they have everything that's in the code required for that business or that occupancy.
And Mr. Chairman, Assistant County Attorney Catherine
Yes.
Barbieri. It's my understanding they've already made modifications on the inside. It was a 1-bathroom structure before, now it's a 2-bathroom structure, so we don't know what other modifications have been made inside.
I have the original plans from the original building.
And this is where the engineer will help us, and
Okay.
they can use that. They can give the original plans to the engineer to show us, but they, unfortunately, I guess, because they're new business owners, went ahead and made changes on the inside without doing any
Okay,
of the
very
legwork
good.
beforehand.
Thank you. So I think going forward, I think what we need to do here probably is just go ahead and give them till like February. And,
Oh,
something.
I'll give them a lot more time
So
than
these
that.
drawings are $8,000 that
And
we
it,
need to
uh,
have done.
And I'm just a small business, just
Yeah.
to
That's
put
our
everything
biggest
into this
problem.
building that I had to
Yeah.
buy this building.
Well, and I understand that, but we're trying to help you.
Yeah.
Even though it may not seem that way, we're trying to
No,
help
I
you
understand.
to go forward and all that. We're gonna just give you some time to do it. You get it straightened out with, with our staff and with, permitting, zoning and all such as that. And just do your due diligence and I guess, I know the computers are great and it's always good to get on the computer and do that. And I guess that's the way of the world, but I personally sometimes like to speak to somebody in person, which you may wanna consider that, not that that's good advice or not, but,
Mr. Chair,
I have spoken
along
to
the same
Flores.
lines, you can certainly argue your case here. That's no problem. I'm inclined to give you time, where I was going down the path, to give you time to have an electrician pull the permits, take care of those items, your plumbing permits. If you feel you're within the law and you wanna come back and argue your case, if we give you an extension of time, maybe.
Well, like that photo you have right there, I call Richmond Electric, I send them that exact same photo. They're assuming all they have to do is cover that circle. That is it. So I'm not certain until they come where you're at with all that, but I didn't know if it's just that circle. And then he said there were some blanks in there, they'll put some blanks in the thing. They're pulling a permit for that as well, so they've already started that. But I was just kind of not aware, like, we didn't see that when we bought the
So
building.
is your assertion that you didn't do any additional work inside, you didn't change anything?
No, we did not change any structure in that building whatsoever, add any bathrooms. You could tell just by looking, everything is old in the building. There's not, I mean, I painted my walls on the inside and I laid some flooring down,
I
what is
sent
it,
Mr.
vinyl.
Harvey the drawings from 2010 that the previous owner submitted to St. Lucie County that has all of the current structures inside the interior as well, and
Signed off of in
he said that
2010.
this was enough for him on his side.
So,
Have you allowed
Mr.
Mr. Morera in to
Yes,
look at all of
Okay.
that?
Mr. Waters, I think given.
I'm
the-
inclined to give you time. If you wanna argue the case at that later date,
Yeah, time's fine.
maybe that's, what you wanna do. I would ask for staff's assistance as much as you can and see if you can comply. I'm not sure if I agree with, what's stated here, to be honest with you, but, I would make
I've
a
never been
motion.
here, so-
Or are you making it for a date certain then?
No, I was gonna make a motion for a continuation of the hearing, that we
Okay.
continue this hearing to the February 1st, 2023 board meeting.
I would give them another month or two.
You know what? I'll extend that out till, how about the April 5th, board meeting of
I'm on
2023?
board for that.
Okay, that's a motion.
Doesn't staff prefer it not be the date of the meeting? Didn't you tell me
Assistant County
that?
Attorney Kathy Barbieri is continuing it, so we want it on the date of the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So which one did you pick? I'm sorry.
April 5th of 2023.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Murdock, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, folks, you've been given some time. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, just,
We'll work with Mr. Moray.
due
That's it.
diligence,
Keep
due
him
diligence.
abreast.
Number 12, case number 2206-108349, location violation 5189 Melissa Lane, William J. Clark. Is there a Mr. Clark in the house? Yeah. Get this thing straightened out, man. Whoops, I just lost it. Yeah, done. Okay, so we are on come on, Ralph. We're on number 13, case number 13 and 14 companion cases, code 208-108-682, next to 14195 Range Line Road, Fort Pierce, Florida, Mayberger Ranch LLC. And the other case number is 2208-108-687, next to 14195 Range Line Road, Mike's Organic Topsoil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, please state your name and address.
My name is Mike Marburger, and there is no physical address on my new property yet.
Okay, do you have a personal
Need your
address?
home address.
It's 988 Northwest Demedici Road, Port St. Lucie, Florida,
Okay.
34986.
And the other gentleman is going to speak?
Anthony Bordinger. My address is 10263 Southwest Village Parkway, Port St. Lucie, Florida,
Okay,
34987.
please raise your right hand.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just hold on, folks. We're gonna talk with Josh here, and then we'll get back with you folks in just a moment. Good morning, Josh. How
Good
are
morning,
you,
Mr.
sir?
Chairman, board members. I'll be reading for both cases, case 2208-108687 and case 2208-108682. For the record, I am submitting 10 photos dated August 24th, 2002, 10 dated October 3rd, 2022, and section 7.10.12, figure 729 of the layout of land clearing and yardway storage piles. On July 6, 2022, the property was purchased by the owner and began operating a processing facility. On August 18, 2022, a pre-application meeting was held between property owner and the planning department to let them know that the parcel lacked the required road frontage to request a rezoning and conditional use permit to operate a vegetative debris recycling operation. The business owner was also advised that if they were able to work around the frontage issue, they would need to rezone to utilities and obtain a conditional use permit. On August 25th, 2022, a notice of violation letter was issued to both property owner and business owner for being in violation of sections 110500, no zoning compliance for the collecting, storing, and processing of materials on the property, section 3.01.03C, collecting, storing, and processing of materials in an Ag 5 zoning, section 3826, outside storage, and section 7.10.12, scrap, waste, and recycling operations, no zoning compliance for collecting, storing, and processing of materials on the property. A compliance date of September 8th, 2022 was given. A notice to appear letter was issued on September 14th, 2022 for the code board hearing of October 5th, 2022. As of today's date, October 5th, 2022, the property remains in violation. Based on the public health and safety and a nuisance to the community if unregulated, staff is asking the board not to grant any continuations and for all business activities to cease, and for the business to cease all operations until the property is brought into compliance. Planning and Development Services Assistant Director Ben Balser and Planning Manager Corey Benson are here today to speak on the facts of this case.
Very interesting, thank you. I do have a question for the board in seeing this. Is this, when did you purchase this? July of this year?
July 6th of this year.
July 6th of this year. Okay, I just have, and I'm gonna have this question, I don't know where it's gonna end up at, but on July 6th of this year, when you bought this, was everything here? I say everything, was it in this usage before, when you bought it?
So the previous owner did have a DEP permit.
Had a what permit?
A DEP, FDEP permit, which is what you
Okay.
need to operate that kind of facility.
That's with the state,
Which
correct?
we do too, for this location.
With the state?
For the state.
Correct.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it, not the county, but with the
Not for the
state.
county, for the
Okay.
state. There was 5 acres of debris. So these pictures right here that you see, which is topsoil, what we were doing was cleaning up. So one of the last violations that was given to us was make sure that the actual site is cleaned up. We have canals that go all the way around our facility, and that move through the facility that are for drainage, for water, because it used to be an orange grove maybe 50 years ago. It was used to dump FEMA from 5 years ago, so it had windrows already. What we went through and did was begin the process of actually cleaning it up. There was pepper trees that are invasive, so all those things are in there. We also had to clean out the actual canals because there's overgrowth. So to get in compliance with, getting our fire systems and everything set, what we plan on doing is using hydrants that are connected to the canals, because we have about 25 million gallons of water to be able to access water for the fire department if there was any sort of.
Are they in place now?
No, because of the hurricane. I mean,
Well, wait a minute, hold on. The hurricane just happened.
Well, we're in the process of getting everything done. A
You know,
lot of the
because-
work that's being done in there is getting the site into compliance, whether it be putting roadways in, or, you know, we're just trying to be able to move around and clean
Right.
the property up.
But prior to the hurricane, you did not have them in place?
No, we have our own motorized firefighting equipment. So we have like a 2,000-gallon tank with hoses that can be filled up. We have a pump that pumps water out of the canal to fill up. So if we did have issues with fires, we could be able to put it out immediately.
Can I give you a little bit of
Okay.
information here real quick?
Yeah, we're gonna get with staff here too. I got Corey here and some others, but go ahead, sir.
For 13 years, I operated on the corner of Range Line and Glades Cutoff where the fire was.
Yes, sir.
I was thrown out of there the end of July. So we had to hurry and move. I have $8 million worth of equipment, grinders, loaders, track hose. I was supposed to get a 3-year extension on that lease, on that land. They gave me a 30-day eviction notice. Meanwhile, I have 20-plus employees, payments on everything. We moved, we found a nice piece of land out west, off the grid, beautiful piece to do what we're gonna do. We were court ordered to be off of the land by July 31st.
This is where the fire is now?
That's where the fire was.
Oh, where the fire was, if it's up now.
Correct. We picked up, did whatever, I fought with them for 5 months with attorneys, lawyers. They wanted me off there no matter what. We moved to this new piece of land, which was covered, the ditches were bad. It was a horrible piece of land to clean up. I spent tens of thousands of dollars right now cleaning this piece of land up, just so we can move forward little by little to get everything we need on this 105 acres to get me back to where I was after 13 years of work over there.
Okay, and you were in the other location for 13 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you had a lease for 13 years?
Well, it was a year-by-year lease.
Okay, and then something happened and they decided that they wanted to
January
change
1st,
it.
they came to me with a new lease. It was this thick. I'm responsible for
Okay, yeah.
the ozone layer.
Well, we
I
know,
couldn't
and
sign
we
it.
know, and it's not, you know, we think it's everybody's fault, but it's not everybody's fault. It may not always be the landlord, may not always be the tenant.
Correct.
You know, but I mean,
I
it's.
just want to tell you where we started, why we are where we are today.
Okay.
We are moving forward. We want to be in compliance with everything like we were on the other piece of land that I was thrown off of and lost millions of dollars worth of my topsoil. We're trying to get in compliance, but you got to go A, B, and C before you get to X,
Yes.
Y, and Z.
Absolutely, that's where we are.
Correct.
Okay.
Where is this property in relation to Glades?
It's
and-
down Range Line by the prison,
Okay.
Okay.
just on the border of Martin and St. Lucie. Back in, the city has, reservoirs, perk ponds back there. We're past the perk ponds in between FP&L and the city's, reservoirs.
Let us, excuse me for interrupting,
Sure.
and we appreciate what you told us, but I'm gonna go a little further here. Mr. Corey, good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Fogg,
How are
members
you?
of the board.
Can you help us
Excellent.
out here, what we're doing?
Certainly, and so as highlighted by our team here, the Planning Division, in coordination with our Development Review Committee, did convene a pre-application meeting at the request of the applicant to explore suitability of the subject property. As noted, there are 2 eligible zoning districts for proposal of a conditional use for yard trash debris recycling. It would require rezoning from the Agricultural 5 zoning district to either the U Utility zoning district or an IH Industrial Heavy district. In staff's evaluation of the site, one of the key components is the site's lack of frontage on a public or a private street having been constructed to county standards in order to, 1, achieve the rezoning, which is a minimum criteria for either of those 2 eligible zoning districts, and 2, the conditional use and site plan, which would be essential to authorize this use scope. So again, the use that's being proposed for the property requires a conditional use permit, and those are the frontage is essential to establish eligibility for this parcel of land. So the parcel of land is plus or minus 100 acres. The eligibility in our land development code for this type of operation is an interval or limited range between a minimum of 5 acres and a maximum of 15 acres devoted to that use. And so, again, the conflicts that the applicant is looking to approach is how this parcel of land can be considered conforming to the county's land development code, the minimum dimensions required for frontage to garner that access on a paved road or paved street. For instance, if we look at the FP&L site, their parcel, which is situated to the west, it extends all the way north to the Glades Cutoff corridor and has frontage on Glades Cutoff. That's their access traversing the rail corridor, but they have legal frontage on Glades Cutoff. This parcel, which our team, for the sake of more informal conversation, looks at as being landlocked. They may have secured access easements, they may have a revocable license agreement with the Water Control District for access of the property, and that may be sufficient to propose a single-family home, but for rezoning to the industrial, heavy, or utility zoning district, and the petition for a conditional use permit is required to demonstrate legal frontage. And as defined in our land development code, that is frontage on a public street or roadway, or frontage on a private street or roadway having been constructed to county standards or specifications, which include pavement, drainage, and so forth.
I have a question. First of all, as I spoke to them, was there something there before this? There was another business there before this that did maybe not the same thing they're doing, but trash, junk, and debris, not whatever was stored there.
I'm not aware of a
In other
prior
words-
operation active unless it was an agriculturally exempt activity or an activity that the county was not aware of.
Looks like an old
What I'm
grove.
suggesting, or what I'm asking for the board is, was this a flat piece of land when they moved there?
Chairman.
Or was it used for another business prior to that?
Chairman, members of the board, as highlighted on screen by Ms. Williams, the property appears to be fallow agricultural or citrus land. There's a few furrows and ditches that extend across it, dirt pathway leading to it, but it does not appear that there's been any bona fide activities related to yard trash, land clearing, and debris processing.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this is Benton County Catherine Barbieri. If I can ask Mr. Benton a couple questions that may be of assistance.
Yes, please.
Was there any legally permitted other business going on there at that time?
Not that staff is aware of.
Was staff also contacted in May before they purchased the property via email and the road frontage issue was mentioned?
Yes, ma'am, a team member of our Planning and Development Services.
I'm going to show you what and provide to them also what is an email of this contact. Can you please look at it and tell me if this is what you're referring to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And, we are going to provide a copy of this email to the board and submit into evidence that before they purchased this, we were contacted and explained there may be a road frontage issue.
Okay, thank you very much. So, and that's where I was headed with this. And I guess the next question is, so you folks knew prior to going there that you may not be able to use this for this particular use. Is that correct?
Yes and no. So what they're leaving out is that we can have the actual road frontage waived by the Board of County Commissioners, which is going to be the route that we're going to take. And the reason we're going to do that is because, like they say with FP&L going through there, all of those solar panels did not make it through the tree line that's on the Glades cutoff. I mean, we can go out there and look at it. It's about 8 feet wide, where they're saying FP&L has access. So this road was constructed for FP&L to be able to bring those solar panels back and build that solar farm.
The road that you're using.
The road that we use.
Where is it on the map?
What's that?
Where is it on this map?
You can see the dirt road. Well, it's road base. It's a coquina stone that goes all the way back from range line. It's about a 3-mile road. Now it's
Along the canal bank.
along the canal on
To the south.
Yes, ma'am.
And then which end do you go back up, honey?
No, you need to go down.
Yeah. Okay, now, The road that runs along this canal bank,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then you get in right there.
That's
where-
correct.
Okay.
Keep going.
Now, we've obtained a permit because part of that road does go out onto South Florida Water Management access. We've got a permit from South Florida Water Management saying that we are allowed to access that road for the purpose of our business. What I will say is that the road is used by the city for their park ponds, where they're constructing the park ponds, and the road is used for the county to go out to their communications tower all the time, because we see people go through there, and FPNL. So,
And where is that?
what do you mean? The communications tower
Uh-huh.
is directly to the east. You can't see it because this picture is probably about 5 years old. But if you do zoom in, you can see where the windrows were from the previous business that they're unaware of.
Well, in relation to, in looking at this photograph, where is it?
Where is what?
Okay, you see there's coming from Range Line, there's
Yes, ma'am.
1, 2, 3, 4
Okay.
blocks, and then you get into 3
There-
blocks of Grove,
so
and then
dir-
yours.
Directly east of that,
Okay,
because this, like I said, this picture is probably 4 or 5 years old.
okay,
There is a communications tower, probably I'd say about 400 feet to the east of where our property is.
is that in the Grove?
Yeah,
3
because
Grove
it's
blocks?
that's showing the Grove, but it's no longer.
I
there's-
understand that,
yeah.
I just wanna know where it is it up by Range Line Road, is
No,
it
no,
to
it's-
the north, where
it's
is it?
400 feet east of our property.
Can you show it with the arrow?
Right about there, but actually right off of where that cocaine
Right
and
there,
stuff. There you go.
okay, excellent, that's what I was trying to get at.
What I will say is when we brought up that road is sufficient for our purposes, it's wider than Range Line, and I would venture to say safer than Range Line. Range Line's not that wide, and it constantly has traffic.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask one
potholes.
question, though?
Yes.
But you're operating currently, right?
Yes,
So
we
you
are.
have, you have none of the required permits or anything from the county, you just opened up and started operating?
We have our DEP permit, but yes.
From the county?
Well-
After you received this email, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
So if I may ask you, sir,
Yes.
how do you feel like you're anywhere in the right if you don't have permission from the county to operate a business there? How could this board find any other way other than that you're in violation if you haven't obtained permitting prior to starting work there? How could I hang my hat on and say you're not guilty of what the county's saying you're guilty of?
We're not arguing that we're not that we haven't violated and code things. We want to move forward. The time frame of how we've gone about it is like Mr. Marburger stated. We had to kind of rush to get our equipment and everything on to the property. Was it faster than we would have liked? Yes. Unfortunately, it takes a long time for the county to even respond. I applied for a pre-application meeting. It took 7 weeks to get a pre-application meeting.
So would you agree, this board has no authority to grant you permission to operate your business without you getting the proper permits? All we can rule on today, to the best of my knowledge, is either you're violating the law or you aren't, and you agree that you are violating
Right,
the
we
law.
are. So you guys need to do what you need to do today.
And that's the hard part.
We can move forward.
That's the hard part for us, as much as we'd love to help a business person,
Correct.
you know, that's.
I've been doing business, I've owned a business in this town for 30 years. And I'm gonna continue to own a business and operate right there for another 30.
So once again, that's all this board can rule on,
Yeah,
where we are today,
correct.
either they
Yeah.
are or they aren't.
Could I just add
Yeah.
one thing? So, like Mr. Marburger stated, he operated for 13 years at the other location. Over the last decade, this county has grown significantly. I think we all can agree, correct? By about 25%?
Sure.
Okay. When you're growing by that percentage, you have to clear an enormous amount of land in the county. The business that we operate, and I'm not saying that we're in any way in the right, what I'm saying is that we are pretty much an essential business for you guys to continue to grow. You issued 7,500 building permits last year alone. All of that needs to be cleared. The dump cannot handle it. They have a 40-acre piece where they actually take in the yard debris. I'm sure that they're probably about 3 to 4 years ahead of schedule of where they're supposed to be. If you begin closing down businesses like ours, you're gonna end up in a situation like you have with the Peacock property, which the county owns now, where these companies are gonna illegally take their material, dump it somewhere where it's not being processed the correct way like we do, and like a few other places do. There's also 3 other companies, ours, 2 others, one that you guys have allowed to operate, one that's been operating since 2006 that they have not done anything to, has had a DEP permit since 2006 on Ag 5, not in heavy industrial, not in utilities, on Ag 5. There's another location on Shin Road, which right now may not be operating because they want to get in compliance with DEP because they were not doing things the correct way down to the DEP standards, that has the same road frontage issue that has held us up. 1.5 miles each way on Shin Road, which is a county road, not a private road like ours.
Let me ask you a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you have options?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're doing what you're doing. Do you have options?
I mean, what is your approach to fix this?
Our approach
going forward.
Going forward, the holdup with the county is that they will not issue us rezoning because of the road frontage issue. We're willing to do everything else. We're going to apply through the Board of County Commissioners to be able to have the road frontage thing waived. We just purchased this property like 3 months ago. I think that the time frame, I could see if we were operating and doing things illegally, like digging up the dirt and burying things, doing it not the correct way. But everything that's in your county standards for scrap waste, we follow all of this, minus the fire extinguishers, which will be put in. We've already we've had fire marshals out of our property that have said that our yard looks great. They've been out there. When code compliance comes out, they don't even talk to us other than we have to go up to them and actually have a conversation. They just take pictures and leave. There is no, hey, what are you guys doing? Where are you moving forward? This is our first chance to actually be able to do it. Because when we were in our actual pre-application meeting, some of the departments didn't even show up on the call, including the fire department, which in this case, and I think after the current events, would have been the most likely that would be the most important department to be on that call, correct?
Okay.
So I'm not trying to say that we're not going to just say we're not going to do any of this stuff and continue to operate. We want to be in compliance with the county, but we also want to be treated like the other operators that are operating on Ag 5. I have them right here. This is from your county property appraiser. All of those properties are zoned Ag 5. Nobody is zoned heavy industrial. Nobody is zoned utilities. They are on Ag 5. Meanwhile, we get into a meeting and we get told that no, you guys can't operate on Ag 5. No, you guys can't use a road that's 25 feet wide that trucks drive up and down every single day and don't have an issue. That's all we've been told is no, 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 no.
Okay.
We're operating within the guidelines of the scrap thing, and I do understand we don't have a permit. But what I also will point out is that when he started his business on the other location, when it was the county, before it was annexed to the city, he never obtained a permit for this. He went to them and they said, we don't really know what you need to do.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. I guess I want to ask that question again, and I don't know to ask Corey, if you would. Do they have options?
Chairman Fogg, members of the board, in theory, yes, there are options. Those options, one of the primary options would require, or at least necessitate, collaboration with adjacent property owners to be able to present a design to provide frontage for the parcel to address the access and minimum criteria.
Okay.
There are a few ways of approaching it, but we have not received a formal application or guidance as to how they would like to proceed.
Okay. I'm not really necessarily good at this for the board necessarily, but did Florida Power and Light have to do all that?
Florida Power and Light did go through a site plan review process, and they were
And they
required
had
to
to
demonstrate
collaborate with
compliance
everybody?
with the county's land development code.
they had to collaborate with everybody to get what they're,
And if we may zoom in, I believe their parcel has frontage to the north
this
on
picture's
Glades
a little-
Cutoff.
yeah.
Yes. So the Glades Cutoff corridor is situated to the north.
Okay.
That's where their parcel has frontage.
I see, so they coming off the Glades,
That is correct.
Their entrance is off Glades.
If the site, the subject site was abutting the Glades Cutoff right-of-way, that could be claimed as their frontage. Additionally, if it was
Okay.
abutting Range Line Road, that could be claimed as their frontage. Alternatively, if a private street, having been constructed to county specifications, ran east and west from Range Line to the property, or from the north-south from
Right.
Glades Cutoff, that could serve as frontage.
Who built the
But
road?
the,
Who built that road?
A POA, Private Homeowners Association.
The Range Line POA, so there's a,
Where are they on this map?
they're not on there. Basically it's a collective, and most of the people on the board of that nonprofit are from the city because they needed the access to build their perk ponds, which are located all to the east of us.
do you have any permission from them? Have you talked to them?
Everybody that owns property in that Range Line corridor owns that road. So we actually own the road. We maintain the road for the POA because, like I said, we have trucks going up and down the road.
Okay.
We want it to be as smooth as possible for us entering and for our customers.
Okay.
And like Corey said, he's saying that we have to have it paved. If you look deeper into that, it says that that can be waived through the Board of County Commissioners, which is going to be the action that we take, because we're not going to spend $3 or $4 million to pave a road. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Especially when the dump has the same kind of stuff and dump trucks drive around on that all
We're gonna,
through it.
we have to stop, and we could go on and talk about this for a long time, and we've given you quite a bit of time to do this, and we've tried to ask some of the right questions. But we do know that you are in violation, and we're gonna have to go forward with that and do what we have to do, and then you people work out what you can work out, and if you have to come back to us a later date, then we'll handle it at that time. We have no other, we're just here as a code board to do certain things and try to ask certain questions to make it sound common sense wise, practical.
Well, we don't know that there's a violation. We're here to find out if there's a violation.
Well, this is.
You think there's a violation.
Well, I don't really think, but the county thinks it's a violation.
There you go, and we're here to help
That's
decide
right.
that.
That's right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
From their testimony, they're willing to do whatever is necessary and to resolving this problem.
Within reason.
And I think that, in all fairness, we should give them some time to do whatever they can do, whether you go forward the county commissions, whether you do whatever necessary is doing. So I have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, if
anyone's
I may,
interested. Yes.
I have a few more comments, if I may make
Yes,
them
please.
before a motion is made. I again wish to point out the fact that they inquired in May before they purchased it. The problems of the property were pointed out to them. They went ahead and purchased it anyway. They are operating without any county permits going on. As you can see, the massive mulch piles are there. And mulch piles, we have the fire department here if you want testimony on the intensity of the heat that'll come from it, the smoke that can come from it, that can affect surrounding areas if they catch on fire. And I also have an article here. Their specific process is to let it get down to dirt, so it's called organic, and the intense heat helps kill the bacteria inside. At this point, the county would like them found in violation and a date certain for correction set. The date certain can be, they can come into compliance by just cease operating until they figure out whether this parcel that they bought after they contacted us could be used or not. We think this is an imminent public health safety issue.
Mr. Chair, if I might,
Yes.
I may ask the attorney, let's just say a motion was made for a date certain, whatever that date be. At that point, the county has does that give the county some authority to take more action in finding that they are not in compliance? In other words, we can't make them shut down. They choose to continue working. You've got other remedies beyond today's hearing?
Yes, sir. We have citations we can issue and take them to court, and if need be, we can go into court and ask for an injunction to shut them down. And we have done it previously, not in a long time in other cases.
Do you have the ability to get those injunctions without this board weighing in on it?
No, sir. Your finding would be relevant to the, I'm not gonna say no, sir, but your finding will be relevant to any proceedings in court.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question also. Did you not testify that you were cleaning up the site?
We are cleaning up the site.
Now, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Are you getting rid of these piles that staff feels that are?
So those piles will be processed through a trommel and then sold as topsoil. There's no, that's not yard waste. That's not yard waste. That was from the previous thing.
And that will not burn. And
not to get off topic, but if I can respond to the county's attorney.
Sure.
I would love to know how we've got an operation that's been going on since 2006 that does not, I've been told that they're not legal. So what remedies have you done to them?
I do not know which site he's talking about, but obviously
Okay,
it's not
so-
before the board currently. The board has seen others of these recently, and we have another one coming next month, and we are planning to issue citations on other ones, so.
Okay,
But the only one that is before you today is this one. And you can see that this is a massive operation. They said they have $8 million worth of equipment out there.
My question is, she's right. This is not about them. It's about you guys.
Yes, sir.
How does the board feel about just giving them a little time to get everything
Well,
cleaned
is-
up? And
is-
Let me ask a couple questions
Yes,
before you
please.
get to that. Go back one more picture, please. Is this the main entrance into your property?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how wide does it show that? It doesn't, I don't know how wide it goes from there.
That piece just goes across the top. That's what was left there from FEMA 5 years ago. It was all broke down from the previous owner. We dozed it all up into a pile. We're gonna trommel it all. It's all.
What does
just
that mean, trommel it?
Put it through a screener and take the soils out, and then there's smaller pieces of wood.
Okay,
All of that will be turned into organic topsoil, which we will get rid of through.
and that is
Parks and Rec.
from that property?
Correct.
And you said it's 100 and something acres?
105 acres.
And did you say that somebody else in this county has it down to 5 or 15 acres?
There's a few properties that operate within the county. One of them on 72 acres, one of them on 18 acres, and another one on, I believe, 20 acres.
Okay, so significantly less than what this parcel is.
We operate on the actual parcel is broken up into 4 pieces by drainage canals. So we only operate on the initial first parcel. The back, it's 25 acres. The actual processing area that we use right now is within the 15 acre of what the county wants.
Okay, so you are not,
We're not doing the whole entire thing is not full of yard trash and debris, ma'am.
so that mound of black dirt that we saw, I don't know what this is, but the mound of black dirt that we saw on the picture, that's solely from that first southernmost section.
Yes, ma'am. On the old picture, if
You're
you-
not hauling in anybody else's dirt at this time.
No, we are. We are taking in vegetation, especially with.
There's your problem.
If it would be assisting the board, we have some pictures from their website or video out there. So if they'll confirm this is from their website, we'll be happy to show you the video of their activities they've posted on their website.
We just said yes, we are taking in
Okay.
vegetation.
We'll go
We
ahead and
didn't
play.
deny we weren't.
So
Okay.
you can see that's Fred Mulch there. Unfortunately, this is, I guess, damage they took on from Hurricane Ian.
That's all the topsoil.
And then there's some more videos showing them mulching on a Sunday.
That's pieces
Is
of
it
our
illegal to
equipment.
work on a Sunday?
Yes, we do,
that
ma'am.
they were, if they get the, if they come into compliance, that would be one of the discussions. In their location, they may be allowed to. Some places we don't allow it because it'll affect the neighbors.
We have no
We
neighbors.
don't have neighbors. That's why we.
Yeah, it looks
I-
pretty barren out there. I'm familiar with the property.
We understand that, Ms. Runner. Okay, Mr. Pancos, do you have any questions? We need
Just
some help here.
one thing, if you look at the global picture that we had there for a little bit, there's clearly piles of stuff there that
Right.
is what they've said they started cleaning up to begin with. So it's not like this was virgin earth to begin with.
Right, okay.
And it appears to me that they are working to clean the place up to make it safer, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So wouldn't that be a benefit to the county that they're working to clean something up that needs to be
I
cleaned
would
up?
think so. I would think that would be a mitigating factor with this.
Every one of you can go on my on my Facebook page, Mike's Organic Topsoil, and see what we're doing every day. We're not hiding anything. We post it out there just like she said. I've been doing this, like I said, for 13 years. We know what we're doing, and we're gonna.
Well, maybe you know this. I know that we had this horrible fire down there at Range Line and Glades
Yes,
Cutoff. I
that
get
had nothing to do with us.
I know. And so everybody's all worked up about the fire that won't be put out. I'd like to know how many mulch fires we've had in this county in the last.
On my property, 0. Under my watch.
But you've got the fire department here. Does anybody have any clue how many mulch fires
Do we have somebody from the fire
in
department
this
here?
county?
You do,
Yes.
May I ask
Captain
what's-
Wayne Boyd is here. He is familiar with the site. I'm not sure he will be able to answer that question, though.
May I ask what the relevance of any of that is if we're talking about a code violation? I mean, we want to solve the problem,
I'm
but,
just curious because she's asked for a non-continuance.
right.
And if we've had, 15 mulch fires in the last 50 years, then that would be one thing.
A reason not
If we've
to
had
continue.
one or
Okay.
two, to me, it's not that imperative.
Okay,
Is
thank
what
you.
I'm trying to get at.
Okay, thank you for that.
All right, we're gonna have to, I have the gentleman here from the fire department. He has to be sworn in, please.
State your name for the record.
Captain Wayne Boyer, St. Louis County Fire District Fire Marshal.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, can you help us out here? You see, we're trying hard to try to get this worked out for everybody involved. Can you elaborate with us?
Okay, as far as the question is how many mulch fires there's been, I believe there was one off of Glades Cutoff near Selvitz probably 5 years ago, but don't quote me on that.
Wasn't
I'm
that
not-
a tire fire though?
No, that was the Liberty Tire Fire, and that's off a Range Line.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's caught fire a couple different times.
Right.
Tire fire.
Yeah.
The tire fire. But there was a mulch there, and it's still operating today, a mulch factory, somewhere near Selvitz and,
Oh, Selvitz down there by the railroad track and
Yeah.
the dump in that
Yep,
area.
Yep.
Okay.
So that one, and the
How long
comment.
ago was that, do you know?
I'd have to look back.
Okay.
And, as far as this
Years.
recent, as far as this recent fire, the fire has been mitigated at this time.
Right.
Okay. Have you been on, okay, you done?
Has anyone from the fire department been on this property and evaluated it?
So we received correspondence with the county on a list of properties. So prior to the storm, I went out to a couple different sites, including the site that's in question today. Yes, I did.
Do you
I
feel
believe
that
it was
it's
last
a-
week.
Do you feel like it's a hazard or a potential hazard for catching on fire? Do you
Well,
feel
so
that they've-
the typical process today, to answer your question, today, if you go out there, there's not a lot of product on site, so it's kind of a,
Right.
it's kind of, it's a new property, so can't really answer that question today. But the typical process is we do sit in on the pre-application meetings. For the most part, we're not 100%. There's always
Right.
stuff going on. A super busy county and whatnot, but typically as it moves forward in the process, we do provide formal comments at the DRC meetings that are held weekly on Thursday.
DRC, what's that?
Development Review Committee.
Okay.
Which we do have a representative that sits on that and provides all formal comments for a business such as his moving into the county. And, you know, we discuss access and water at all new businesses that come
Well, it
in.
looks like there's a sufficient supply of water with C-23 right there.
Well, we follow, and if, it's outside the urban service boundary, and I do understand that they did discuss hydrants earlier, it was mentioned in the meeting.
Yeah.
So it's one of the requirements, and we would provide comments for them to follow NFPA 1142, which is water supplies in suburban and rural, you know, outside the urban service boundary. You follow that code.
And that would say that C-23
Yeah, so
is enough.
they would need, yeah, so there is no hydrant system per se.
Right.
It's more of a different water solution, a gravity tank, or pumps that fill,
Okay.
you know, FDCs throughout and
For a rural
whatnot. And we
area.
will work with them, getting them through that process.
Okay.
But that's when, like I said, when it starts at the Development Review Committee, and we actually play a part in that.
Okay. Any more questions for this gentleman?
No. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
been
you.
Great help. We really do appreciate it. Okay, guys, so here we are with this. Mr. Waters, do you have anything else?
I don't, to the key points, in my opinion, I'd love to solve the problem. We need your services, and I hate doing anything to a business, but in all rights and respects, you can't just start a business without getting the permits. That's what we're here for. We either you are in default or you aren't, and you admitted that you are in default. I don't know of any other way that we could rule anything. I can't see a reason to extend this down the road whenever there's been an admittance of that they're in default and the county's right. What
Okay.
would be our reason to waiting for this anymore? If he operates, if we had a finding of fault and he operates, you know, that's on him. My thoughts.
All right, so we're looking for a motion.
A date certain?
Date certain.
I think we should do a date certain. I think we should move it far out though, because he's still got to do a zoning compliance. That's gonna take a lot of time.
And he's got to
I
resolve
You know,
the
that's
roadway.
unrealistic to ask him to remove all of this dirt.
I think the
mean,
date certain far out is in order, in my opinion.
Could I have
Would you like to make that
we have
motion?
a reading of what Josh, this was Josh's,
Yeah,
Jose?
Joshua's.
Yeah, Joshua. Could we have a
Mr.
reading back on
Guevara.
the last part of that comment that you have there, that the county's asked?
Yeah, read your whole thing again, please.
So, the whole script or just the?
No,
Yes.
I just need the back part of it.
Based
Okay.
on the public health and safety, and a nuisance in the community, if unregulated, staff is asking the board to not grant any continuations and for the business to cease all operations until the property is brought into compliance.
Okay,
That's
well, we
the
can't do
county
anything about the
recommendation.
cease business part. That's
I don't agree with that, only because this is a rural area. There's nobody out there except a bunch of jail people.
And the fire department's already made,
And the fire department
testimony
says it's not that big a
They
deal.
don't feel that it's a big
I don't
danger.
think I wouldn't go with making them
So,
stop
so
this.
there is a violation, it's just, you know, we have to decide, and so we need a motion.
I don't think
Go on.
that's the cease and desist, I don't think is an operation of this board. I think that's an operation of the other county departments. Ours is
Yeah.
either to find fault or not, and I don't see a path to not finding fault, and putting it off doesn't.
I kind of agree.
Okay.
But you're gonna have to meet with them and you're gonna have to do what they,
Absolutely.
you know,
And to be frank,
Work it out.
the ultimate fine is probably peanuts compared to what's going on here. It almost doesn't matter what we find, it's whether you can do this or not, and the ball will be in the county's court.
Need a
Your
motion.
battle is with commissioners and then not this board. But
Correct. Absolutely.
I will say I don't agree with paving that road, just.
Ms. Monahan?
Peanuts, but it's work.
Thank you.
I
Like,
agree
we have
with
too
that.
Okay,
many
folks,
paved roads.
we've labored on this long enough, we need to make a decision.
Ms. Monahan, do you think
I
the
will
March
read-
1st
Throw it
would
out there.
be appropriate?
I like May the 1st myself.
Throw it
Think
out
you
there,
can
I'll
do
vote
that?
for it. Sure.
Huh? All right. I hereby move in reference to case number code 2208-108682 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by May the 1st, 2023, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as the cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Waters. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Monahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murdock?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you read for the second case too, Ms. Monahan?
Yes. I hereby move in reference to case number code 2208-108687 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination after hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation. We determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by May the 1st, 2023, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as the cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pankos. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Monahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Murdock?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
Try to work it out, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck, fellas.
And do check us out on Facebook if you
You
want to see
wanna
all the
refer-
good things we do for the community.
You also.
Just a minute, just a minute.
Yeah, excuse me just a
Hold
minute.
on a second, hold on a second.
You may also want to refer this to Board of County Commissioners for review on this. I don't know.
I think they've got it down pat.
Okay. All right. Very good. Just to make sure. Good luck, guys. Okay, we are over on 15, case number 2207108415 has been removed. 16, case number 2207108416 has been been abated. Excuse me, they've both been abated. We are on 17, case number 2208108559, Easy Street, Fort Pierce, Florida, Gabriel Lundin. Hi, folks. Sorry for the time. Thanks. Stuff happens. Anyway, please state your name.
Gabriel Lundin.
Okay, and ma'am,
Your
you're
address?
gonna speak?
Ariel Guerin.
Can I have your address, sir?
409 Easy Street.
Okay.
Ariel Guerin, 409 Easy Street.
Raise your right hand.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna hear with Josh, then we'll get right with you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. For the record, I am submitting 4 photos dated August 4th, 2022, and 9 photos dated October 3rd, 2022. The property next to 409 Easy Street was found in violation of Section 30103I, storing of vehicles and boats in a residential zone property, and Section 3826, outside storage. A notice of violation letter was issued on August 4th, 2022, with a compliance date of August 18th, 2022. A notice to appear letter was issued on September 30th, 2022, for the Code Board hearing of October 5th, 2022. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation. I've been in contact with property owner, Mr. Lunding, and is here to request more time today.
Okay, you in violation?
Yes, sir. Most of this has been cleaned up. I have some stuff that I hid in the back that we're working on now. It's not.
How long did it take you to collect all this?
My friend sold his business on US 1. He'd been in business 40 years, and I helped him
Okay.
get rid of some of this stuff, and we've slowly been moving it away. So that
Okay,
was a
so
favor that got me into this job.
Get rid of the rest of it in 30 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I think we're looking for a date certain.
You want me?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, give him till
30 days.
Yeah.
30 days.
30 days? Okay.
I hereby move in reference to case number code 2208-108559, that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff to the existence of a violation, we determine the violation in fact did occur, and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by November 15th, 2022, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Here a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Murdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. If you have any questions, call Josh or talk to Josh, okay?
And call Josh when you get it cleaned up so he can make the date noted.
Okay, thank you, folks. That's it.
Thank you. Have a
All
nice
right.
day.
18, case number 2207-108413 has been abated. 19, case number 2207-108414 has been abated. We are on 20, case number 2208-108558, 5712 Palm Drive, Fort Pierce, Florida, Joshua A. Bowen. Mr. Bowen here? Okay, 21, case number 2208-108544, 6109 Palm Drive, Fort Pierce, Florida, James Perry, Athena S. Perry.
We have a letter, I believe, to ask for
Oh, yeah,
request.
he's asked to continue it till the next meeting, I guess?
Yes, there's a continuation request he emailed yesterday. He had an appointment at the VA.
Okay, I hereby move in relation to case number code 2208-108544, that we continue this case till the November 2nd, 2022 Code Board meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, we are on number 22, case number 107710, 8301 Banyard Road. Kurt,
Barani.
Is there Mr. Barani here? Okay, we're on 23, case number 107690 has been removed. We are on 24, case number 2207-108-400, 138 Naranja Avenue, Port St. Lucie, Florida. Lee D. Sage. Mr. Sage here? Is that you, sir? Okay. Okay, we're on 25, case number 2204-108-018 has been removed. We are on 26, case number 107698 has been removed. We are on 27, case number 2206-108-251, 908 Shore Winds Drive, Fort Pierce, Florida. Karen Casey. Casey. Okay, we've got companion cases 28, 29, and 30. 28, case number 2206-108-313, 1109 Angle Road, Unit B, Fort Pierce, Florida. Briffle Mobile. Okay, and the other case is, let me see, 2206-108-311, 1109 Angle Road, Unit A, Wallace Auto Service and Repair. And number 30, we are on 2206-108-310, 1109 Angle Road, Unit B, AA&D Holdings Group, LLC. That's all three at one time, and we are going to have Miss Moisey, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Nice to see you, and nice to hear from you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you kindly.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's,
Yes.
would you please speak into the, tell us your name?
My name is Prosper Buyfield.
Address?
Prosper Buyfield.
And your address?
Oh, 1109 Angle Road.
Okay, and
Unit B.
sir, you're talking to?
Good morning. My name is Andrew Robinson. My address is 1109 Angle Road.
Okay.
Fort Pierce.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you can pull that microphone down if you need to get it close to you. There you go. Okay? All right, we're gonna hear from Ms. Moise, and we'll be right back with you in just a moment. Yes, ma'am.
For the record, I am submitting 8 photos dated June 22nd, 2022, 3 photos dated July 12th, 2022, 5 photos dated August 9th, 2022, 1 photo dated September 23rd, 2022, 3 photos dated October 3rd, 2022, and 2 aerial maps from 2018 and 2021 from our property appraisers website.
Okay, hold on, we can't
Yeah,
see
hold
any
on
of
here,
that.
we don't have video up here.
Okay,
Okay,
now we do.
During my first inspection, I found a property located at 1109 Angle Road in violation for section 11.05.01, building and sign permits to obtain a permit for the carport, wooden fence, and paint booth. Section 38-97 for overgrowth, section 11.05.00, procedure for obtaining developments, permits to obtain a permit for the zoning compliance for the auto repair businesses on the property, section 38-26 for outside storage, section 42-103, payment of tax prerequisites to engaging in business to obtain a business tax receipt for the auto repair businesses on the property. I issued a notice of violation on June 23rd, 2022, with a compliance date of July 7, 2022. After getting no compliance, a notice to appear was issued on August 10, 2022, for the October 5, 2022 Code Board meeting. I have had contact with the tenant. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property does remain in violation, and this is one of the tenants. I would like to read the other case in.
Please.
And this is for Wall G's Auto Service and Repair. For the record, I am submitting 8 photos dated June 22nd, 2022, 3 photos dated July 12th, 2022, 5 photos dated August 9th, 2022, 1 photo dated September 23rd, 2022, 3 photos dated October 3rd, 2022, 2 aerial maps from 2018 and 2021 from our property appraisers website. During my first inspection, I found a property located at 1109 Anger Road in violation for section 11.05.01 building and sign permits to obtain a permit for the carport, the wooden fence, and paint booth. Section 38-97 for overgrowth, section 11.05.00, procedure for obtaining developments, permits to obtain a zoning compliance for the auto repair businesses on the property, section 38-26 for outside storage, section 42-103, payment of tax prerequisites to engaging in business to obtain a business tax receipt for the auto repair businesses on the property. I issued a notice of violation on June 23rd, 2022, with a compliance date of July 7, 2022. After getting no compliance, a notice to appear was issued on August 10, 2022 for the October 5th, 2022 Code Board meeting. I have had contact with the tenant. As of October 3rd, the property remains in violation.
Okay. So you did all 3 of them? That's it. Are you in violation or are you not?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you, I gotta ask this question up front. Do you have a occupational license?
I apologize. There is another case which is for the property owner. The
Yes.
property owner is not here, but they can be representatives. Would you like for me to read that in?
Please, yes, it's the same,
Okay.
yeah.
This is for the property owner, A&D Holdings Group LLC. For the record, I am submitting 8 photos dated June 22nd, 2022, 3 photos dated July 12th, 2022, 5 photos dated August 9th, 2022, 1 photo dated September 23rd, 2022, 3 photos dated October 3rd, 2022, 2 aerial maps from 2018 and 2021 from our property appraiser's website. During my first inspection, I found a property located at 1109 Angle Road in violation for section 11.05.01, building and sign permits to obtain a permit for the carport, wooden fence, and paint booth, section 38-97 for overgrowth, section 11.05.00, procedure for obtaining developments permits to obtain a zoning compliance for the auto repair businesses on the property, section 38-26 for outside storage, section 42-103, payment of tax prerequisites to engaging in business to obtain a business tax receipt for the auto repair businesses on the property. I issued a notice of violation on June 22nd, 2022, with a compliance date of July 6, 2022. After getting no compliance, a notice to appear was posted on the property on September 23rd, 2022 for the October 5th, 2022 Code Board meeting. I have had no contact with the owner. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, getting back to where we were, the question is, you were cited back in June, correct?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Are you in partnerships? Are you both the same, or?
No.
Two different.
Gotta speak in the microphone, we can't hear you.
Two different business, but on the same address.
Okay, all right, so let me ask you a question. It was just brought to my attention, so if you were cited in June,
Yes, sir.
okay, what have you done since June to make a difference and clean the place up?
I started cleaning up the place, and I had a partner before, and he's no longer there with me. So all those things cleaned up that you saw, the paint cans and those things, he's the one who took them when he was moving from Port Sentosa to there. So he's no longer there with me. So
Right.
He already cleaned him. I have pictures of it when he was moving with the truck. Everything was in the truck.
Okay, but all these pictures we see, if you go back through these pictures, right, back up, if you would, right there, is all of this, any of this been cleaned up?
That's on his side.
That's on my side, yeah.
Has it been cleaned up?
Yes, ma'am.
This picture, if we took a picture
Sure, right down.
of that right now, it would all be clean.
Yes, all the back already been cleaned up. The grass already been cut.
Okay.
And,
Did you call Ms. Moyes and have her come by and look at
I
it?
wasn't know to do that, to tell you the truth.
Who you gonna tell? If you can't, you can come here and tell us.
Now I know, and I even got her numbers, but
Okay.
I wasn't know what to do.
All right, because you're here under the violation, so, do you have an occupational license?
I'm okay. The place was I was working with somebody, and now he left it with me back in June.
Okay.
And she know I was working. The place was in somebody else's name.
Okay.
And now I was working with him, and he left. So now I take over.
Okay.
I applied for the license, but I don't know how to do it. I even send the money all to Tallahassee. I got the.
No, and that's okay, sir. You send to Tallahassee, but you're in St. Lucie County right now.
Yes, but I wasn't.
You have to have a permit to work in this town.
Yes.
You have to have an occupational license. Do you have one? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Sir, do you have an occupational license? Yes or
I'm
no?
not sure. My wife look about that thing, sir.
But
My
yes
wife
or
is the
no?
one. No, I said my wife look about those things. So she's the one. We already get a few things already. So she's just waiting on 2 more things. So that's.
And have
why.
you been there since June also?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, you've been working since June also?
Yes, I'm in.
Okay.
And he has applied for a zoning compliance. Walgie's Auto Car Repair has applied for the zoning compliance. It is in review at the moment, and Thondra can go ahead and give you a status on that.
Okay. All right, just a moment, please. Ms. Donia, can you help us out here?
Certainly. As some of you know, we did have a few glitches when we launched the EnerGov system. They did apply for Walgie's actually quite some time ago, and the review did not get done. So it is now in review. Alphanet has taken a look at it. They do need to permit their spray booths if the spray booths are going to continue to be operated. I'm awaiting comments from Public Works and Environmental Resources. I imagine that there'll be some discussion about paving associated with that. And I expect those comments within 5 days.
Okay, very good.
So you've been helping these 2 gentlemen?
I spoke with Rosemary Cook via email yesterday.
Who's that?
I believe
Your wife.
that is his, there we go. She actually contacted us last week and fell into the hole of being closed for Hurricane Ian. She contacted us on Tuesday, so it was not yet until yesterday that I did get in contact with her.
Okay, all right, so that's going to, very good. And then I suppose that the fire department needs to look at these spray booths and such as that for fire hazard.
That
Because
would
they're
be-
looking at the pictures and all the paint laying all over the place and everything, that's a big fire hazard.
I'll let Ms. Alphanet speak to the process for getting those spray booth permits, but I imagine that's part of it.
Yes, I'm sure. And,
Sir, did you have something to say?
No, I was saying it's no longer there. My partner already moved with, he had the paint there. He already moved when he was moving and clean out.
So you
that.
don't have that anymore?
No.
So you gotta talk to Ms. Moyes so she can come out and look at it and get some of this off of here.
We'll
Like,
help
what's
you.
the story with a permit for a wooden fence?
That's my landlord.
I don't know, I saw a fence very
Yeah, I don't,
quickly.
I take it down. And
Was
she's-
it, did you
she
put
saw
it up?
No, I don't put it up, but she was told me to put it down, and so I take it out.
Okay, it's gone?
It's gone.
Yeah, you need to let her know this so she can get some of this off.
I re-inspected on October 3rd from the road. The wooden fence was still on the property. And if I'm correct, I think I heard something about there's no longer a spray paint booth. When I re-inspected, they were still spraying vehicles on the property.
All right, well, y'all need to work things out with Ms. Moyes here, and I
Okay.
think we need to, put a date on this and let them work it out.
Date certain.
Yeah, y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. Please go forward.
I'm trying. Do you gentlemen have something else to say about this?
No.
We kinda took it
we
away
just,
from you.
Some time.
We just need some help, that's all.
Okay,
If
I think,
if I make, just make it a notation for where we're headed here.
Yes.
I see this picture dated 10/3. Is that the way that it looks?
Yes.
So,
that was Monday.
so yes, so this is the way the property looks. This doesn't meet community standards by any means for anybody that should be in this county. So with whatever happens today, it can't look like this
No more.
later on. This has to go away. So with that,
Yeah, but those cars, you see the cars, the one with the tag 012, you were
Yeah.
just backing out because it's finished. Something we work from the inside, but one of them you see in the jack stand, he left yesterday.
Yeah.
But you know, in the daytime when you work, sir, you know, we have a little space. Sometimes car moving back and forth, and
Yeah,
by
but-
the time the car moving, that's the time the picture taken.
well, no matter what the time, the number of vehicles that I see here, you'd
Yes,
have to have a
it's
staff
plenty,
of
yes.
20 people to be working on all these cars. This is accumulation, and it's not gonna meet community standards. I'm only saying this to help you out.
Yes, sir.
If it comes back and looks like this, I'm inclined to fine you whatever, as much money as I can put against you to clean this up, to keep our neighborhood clean.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna try our best, sir.
It looks like a salvage yard, really. When you look at this, look at some of these pictures.
Yes.
And we want you to be in business, we want you to do well and make money and all that. But, you know, just be in mind of what your place looks like.
Yes.
neat
You know, your
and
credibility,
tidy.
your
Yes,
credibility and all
Thank
such
you.
as that helps a long way.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Hall.
I hereby move in reference to case number code 2206-108313 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by February the 10th, 2023, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, next one, please.
I hereby move in reference to case number code 2206-108311, that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determined the violation in fact did occur, and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by February the 10th, 2023, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay.
And
Dave.
lastly, I hereby move in reference to case number code 2206-108310 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the violation in fact did occur, and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by February the 10th, 2023, a fine of up to $250 may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance, at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Okay, gents, get to work.
Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, what we've done is given you plenty of time
Yes.
to handle everything.
Thank you very
So
much.
we don't wanna have them come back there and look at that and say, well, what did you do?
Okay, sir.
So please be responsive to this.
We're gonna,
And your
we're gonna do our best.
licensing and such as that is extremely important,
Okay.
okay? Because
And
you're in
that-
violation.
Speak to Ms. Moyes
I'm gonna-
and the lady that was just speaking here, I don't know
Okay.
her name.
Yeah,
Thondra.
Tanya,
O-
yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, 31, case number 2207-108-524, 1301 Juanita Avenue, Valerie R. Hannah Estate. Is there anybody on that? Hannah Estate? No. 32, case number 2208-108-576-102, Fedmore Court, Evelyn Green.
Evelyn Green.
Evelyn Green. Okay, we're going to 35, case number,
33, Ralph.
wait a minute. 32, I missed one, I'm sorry. Thank you. 33, case number 2207-108-506, 3603 Avenue L, Anthony T. Guntry. Good morning, sir. We have new legal staff. Wonderful. Good morning. Yes, sir. Please state your name and address. Speak into the microphone.
Anthony Guthrie, 3603 Avenue L, Fort Pierce, Florida.
Raise your hand. Do you affirm
Okay.
tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do confirm.
Okay, we're going to hear with Ms. Moisey. We'll be right with you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
For the record, I am submitting two photos dated July 21st, 2022, one photo dated August 24th, 2022, one photo dated September 8th, 2022, one photo dated September 13th, 2022, one photo dated September 26th, 2022, three photos dated October 3rd, 2022. During my first inspection, I found a property located at 3603 Avenue L in violation for section 8.00.03F, outdoor storage of recreational equipment. Only 2 recreational equipments are allowed. Please remove the additional recreational equipment. Section 38-26 for outside storage. A notice of violation was issued on July 27, 2022, with a compliance date of August 10, 2022. After getting no compliance, a notice to appear was issued on September 13, 2022 for the October 5th, 2022 Code Board meeting. I have had contact with the owner. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, have you removed the violation of the mold and mildew from the shed?
That section was removed.
Okay, you didn't tell us that.
Okay, so that is removed. Okay, sir, are you in violation or are you not?
Yes, I'm in violation, sir.
Okay, so what's happening?
I have moved some stuff. I moved quite a bit of stuff already.
All right.
I just had some medical issues and I've been dealing with that, but nevertheless, I should have the rest of that. Give me a few days to get the rest of it out. I want to get that RV out of there, and I think.
Okay, and you know what you need to remove? I mean, all the trash, junk, and debris that's laying around?
Yes, yeah, I'd have moved quite a bit of that already.
You have?
Yes.
Did it take you a long time to collect it?
Well, no,
I'm just
it ain't taking no long time to collect it.
Okay, all right. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and where you are in violation here, we're going to go ahead and do some. The board have any questions? If
No.
not, we're looking for motion.
I'd say give him to January.
Yeah, like the 15th or something? How
Yeah,
about
that sounds
January 12th?
Sounds like a winner. You want to read it, please?
Yeah, it's your turn.
I'll second you into that, don't I?
Come on, I just did 3 in a row.
I'll read it.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I hereby move in reference to case number 2207-108506 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination after hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation. We determined that the violation in fact did occur and that the alleged defendant committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by, help me with a suggested date, did you guys,
January 12th, 23.
January 12th of 23, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of, oops, sorry, go ahead. A cost of $250 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case.
200.
Excuse me, $200. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter, as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Okay, now it's your turn. Go ahead.
Now, second.
Second by Mr. Murdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, sir, you've been given till January 12th.
So you
Please
try
get-
me, so that cost me $200.
It's going to cost you also, yes, $200.
Do you have anything for a person with a disability? 'Cause I'm disabled.
Okay, it's still $200.
A clean yard goes a long way.
Well,
Yep.
I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna
Well,
get
see,
my-
if you had taken care of this, you wouldn't have to pay the $200.
Well, I had medical issues, sir.
Yeah.
Call Ms. Moyes,
Yeah.
work it out with
Talk
her.
to her. Okay?
Okay?
Thank you very much,
Just
sir.
clean it up. Everything goes away.
34, case number 2205-108-182, 2901 Highway A1A, LPR Properties Group LLC. Is there anybody here representing them? Okay, we're gonna go to 35, case number 107223, 13 to 11 South Indian River Drive, Jensen Beach, Florida. Anthony Bassett, Christine Bassett. Hello. Welcome. Please state your name and address. You can pull the microphone down.
Christine Bassett, 13211 South Indian River Drive, Jensen
Okay.
Beach.
Raise your hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, if you just hold on, we're gonna talk to Ms. Gay here in a little bit, and then we'll get back with you.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you. For the record, I am submitting a total of 3 photos, one dated January 19th, 2022, one dated September 23rd, 2022, and one dated October 3rd, 2022. 13211 South Indian River Drive was found in violation of Section 10.01.30, a request for variance from the river installation of rock on the shoreline. A notice of violation letter was issued on January 20th, 2022, with a compliance date of February 3rd, 2022. The notice to appear letter was issued on September 15th, 2022, for the code board hearing today on October 5th, 2022. The service for notice to appear was completed by posting to the property on September 15th, 2022. The permit has been applied for, permit number 2202-0590, for installation of the riprap on the shoreline. That was applied for February 22nd, 2022, and is under review. There is also a shoreline variance planning application that is pending and is under review to SLV 2208-000011. This submittal was completed on August 17th, 2022, and is awaiting a DRC letter from the planning department to be sent to the owner for the resubmittal that will be required as of September 26, 2022. Corey Benton was here earlier for any
Right.
questions. I believe he must
I
have.
saw him leave just a few minutes ago.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the owner has been in constant communication with the zoning department, with myself as the code officer.
Okay.
And as of today, the violation still remains.
So this basically has infringed on the shoreline?
Correct.
And so now they're trying to figure out how to correct it?
That's correct.
With permitting?
Permitting and the zoning department,
Okay.
yes.
Now, do we have Ms. Waters?
Yes,
You
sir.
have a permit number, right?
Yes, we have 2 permits. Well, the permit in the building department is the 2202-0590. And then you have with the planning department, the SLV, the shoreline variance that's under review.
Okay, let's see if she can help us in any manner.
Alphanet Waters, Assistant Building Official. Yes, I do have a permit issued to install the deck. I have a permit in review for the riprap. So that one's still pending.
Okay, is there anything special on it this lady might need to know? I know after review, sometimes there's things that show up that they don't know about.
I just like, while we're waiting on here, on this one, quick question. When there's erosion on the riverbank, and they putting riffraff down there to try to stop the erosion, is that still encroachment, the way that you described it? The reason I ask this, we've had another gentleman that was in a meeting with us several months ago with an erosion problem on the riverbank there, and I was just kind of curious.
Well, from my information, anything that you're gonna put down, something like that, there's county ordinances and requirements to do something of that nature. It has to go under the environmental review. It would be reviewed by zoning, environmental, and possibly the building department as well.
Okay, I was just wondering because, you know, some of
Okay.
this erosion gonna wash out Indian River Drive.
Ms. Waters?
Oh, go ahead.
I see that Lynn's pending review has been pending since May 19th, 2022. So there's no notes in here as
Since-
to why.
Since May?
Since May.
Well, I wonder why it's taking so long.
They're waiting on a variance?
Correct, yes, there's a variance that Corey Benton is working on, and on September the 26th, I asked him for another update, and at that point, he's still waiting for DRC report that contains the review comments. That has got to be supplied to the property owner so she can start the resubmittal that's required. The variance, the shoreline variance, once that's approved, then the proceeds over to the issuance and the review of the building.
So we don't really have a
permit.
timeline necessarily.
What is
No.
DRC again?
It's a development.
Development Review Committee.
Review committee,
Is
yeah.
that a citizen review committee, or is that just in-house
It's
committee?
normal with staff and the citizens,
Oh,
Okay.
the citizens affected or anybody?
the applicant. The
Okay.
applicant and staff meets together and.
Okay.
Right.
And, okay, ma'am.
I
You
do
haven't
have
ha-
some information about that if you need it. Building official said it's not required. Water quality approved the variance. The surveyor asked for a resubmittal. Property acquisitions is still in review. ERD is still in review. The airport is still in review. So the
Okay.
surveyor, would you like to know what the surveyor needs?
No, I mean, I don't know that we need all that. I
Okay.
mean, we just get an idea of the review time, that's all, so we can know what to help you with, if we can, you know.
Mr.
Go
Chairman,
through
I
this.
have a motion.
Do you have any
Well,
comments,
We
ma'am?
haven't heard a defense
No,
yet.
only if you need clarification.
No, I'm talking to this violator.
I was just confused about the whole thing because I hired an engineer from the beginning and a dock builder, and I thought they had it all under control. And I did get an email from the county, and I didn't know really that it was referred to me because I kind of thought they all had it under control. To come to find out that
Not
nobody knew
necessar-
about this shoreline
No,
variance
right.
apparently, and I didn't know that. I really didn't have no clue. That's why I hired people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some-
But other than that,
sometimes-
so I called her about the shoreline variance and I reached out to Corey and so on and so forth. But apparently the engineer and the dock builder did not know that they needed it. He said he did a dock about 3 years ago in our area and he didn't need the shoreline variance.
Well,
So
this
that's
is-
how I got into this problem of the shoreline variance.
This is a different case, a different thing, a different
Yeah.
situation. So that's why, so just go, but
Okay.
stay on top. Don't think that, you know, we hire these people and these engineers and all that, they're awfully good people, all of them. They're
They
awfully
just always want more
busy.
money when they gotta redo something.
They're awfully busy and they're always ready to take money, but however, make sure you know, stay on top of that. So we're
So
gonna
I'm
try
just
to.
waiting and I've been
Yeah,
in touch
we'll give you
with
some
Paul.
time.
Okay.
We'll give you some time, I
Mr.
think, to
Chair.
get through this.
If I may, I have a question. So I see, sitting as a board member, you've been cited, it says a variance is required for installation of rock on the shoreline. May I ask, the picture I'm looking at of rock, is this something you put down for stabilization of the shore?
My husband, somebody had some rock, and he thought it would be a good idea to put it because it's eroding away on the left
Okay.
side of the property.
Okay.
It's actually going underneath.
Okay, so stating that, I think the burden of proof is on the county to show that we're violating a code, and I haven't heard the code read verbatim that states that you can't put rock on the shoreline to stabilize the soil. Before I make a finding that she's wrong in
Yeah.
any way or right, I need to hear what the code is that she's violating based on the picture that I see here and what's stated on the charges.
We have a new attorney here, we're gonna put her to work. Welcome.
Mr. Board, the chairman,
Yes.
she was cited because she did not obtain the variance prior to installing the rocks. So that is a violation. She can do it, but she has to get a variance first.
So let me understand, so that's fine, but what is the code reference that the placing of rock on the shoreline to stabilize the shore, which looks like what they did, where's the code that says she can't put that rock on there?
I'll show you the section of the code. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I didn't know I needed a shoreline variance, and we already had the permit from the DEP, and we were in process with the St. Lucie County, so he felt to protect it meanwhile, that's why he did it.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to hear the letter of the law, because common sense dictates to me, if you've got an eroding shoreline, you take action to put something to stop it from eroding. I didn't know you needed a permit either, or a variance, and I just wanted to hear the code reference exactly that
Okay,
would state
thank
that
you.
you're wrong before I make a ruling on that.
Thank you.
Just trying to help.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And I'm just trying to do the right thing.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Before you is the section 10-130. If you want to go ahead, I can scroll down as you read it. And number 2 is the procedures.
Code 10-130. Here.
Yeah.
The procedures, okay. A request for variance shall be submitted by the applicant in writing to the Environmental Resources Director or designee in a form approved by the Environmental Resources Director and accompanied by a non-refundable fee as established by the Board of County Commissioners. The request for variance shall include documentation of how the project qualifies for a variance.
May I ask, this is in no way, what triggers the requirements for a variance? Is it placing, and where does the law state that stabilizing your soil by rock triggers a request for a variance? I don't see that in the writing here. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just, if I'm going to make a ruling by the letter of the law, I haven't seen it yet.
600202.
What are we getting a variance for? The variance is to repair the soil. That triggers a variance. To me, that doesn't. A variance would be, to me, is making adding property in some way.
602.
It'd go to 602, where it says section 60202, why don't you hit that? That should give.
Wetlands protection?
Yes.
Water quality.
The last sentence of section
Prevent erosion.
A says the purpose and intent of this section is to protect the function and values.
I can't hear you. I can't hear what you're saying.
Apologies.
Yeah.
The last sentence of 60202 subsection A says the purpose and intent of this section is to protect the function and values of shorelines and adjacent uplands by the establishment of shoreline buffers and regulations.
Okay, where does it show that she's broken the law? I see the purpose of. This is a lot of information, but I don't feel that it answers Mr. Waters' question.
It says it's 10.01.30, and this is 6 point something.
10
And I
refers to
agree with Mr.
citizen.
Waters' variant says to just change something that's there. Once again, I think the county should present their case wherein she's violation, and I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay, well, you just want to table it and let it go?
Well, look,
down there, it
look at, if I can help them out here, I'm looking at, and I can't control this, so I can't get on it, but, yeah, look under C here, subsection C, and then,
where are you, Jack?
Yeah, look at
It's the highlighted
subsection
area.
C2. Go to 2. Activities prohibited in the buffer include any construction, development activities, motorized vehicles, and shoreline alteration, unless authorized by a variance granted in accordance.
And section.
But that's alteration.
What Mr. Waters is
They
looking
did. They put rocks.
Well, that answers me with the section 10.130.
I'm not taking the staff side on this, but
Yeah, no.
I'm just pointing out that putting,
Go back to
if
staff.
I read that, putting rocks there, that is an alteration.
Yes.
Then you need a variance. That's what it says, Mr. Waters. At least that's how I read it, but.
As do I.
I would agree that the adding the rocks would be altering the shoreline, which would require a variance per section 1001.30.
I think maybe if Alphanet would read what I've just seen, she may be able to help us out.
The buffer shall be preserved or planted with natural vegetation as approved by the Environmental Resources Director or designee. If native vegetation does not exist within all or portion of the Indian River Lagoon shoreline buffer, the buffer shall be planted with natural vegetation. Shoreline replanting shall be in accordance with the minimum planting requirements of section 602.02E.
So she needs a
Okay.
variance.
Yep. So the variance is in place, so it is in violation. So what we need to do is just give you some time to go ahead and take care of this. And I don't know what the time frame.
And that's what I tried to inquire from Corey Benton
Yes.
in the zoning plan.
You were right in the beginning. Isn't it? It's always
Okay.
good to know you're right.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Yes, sir.
I move in reference to case number CMD 107223 that we continue this case till the April 5th Code Board meeting.
I'll second.
April 5th, 2023?
23, yes.
Okay. Very good. Second by Mr. Waters, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, ma'am, we've given you till April 2023 to get this all worked out, but stay with your people and make sure that you know what's going on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you for your time. 36-2208-108-550-8407 Indian River Drive. Gulf Farb restated Amana Revocable Trust of
Amended.
2001.
Gold Farb restated and amended
Yes.
revocable trust.
Good morning, sir. Please state your name and address.
Good morning, ladies, gentlemen. Bruce, you'll have to pardon me, I have laryngitis.
Okay.
My name is Bruce Goldfarb, and my address is 8407 South Indian River Drive.
Okay.
Raise your hand, sir. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, we'll be right with you, sir. We're going to hear from Ms. Gay again, please.
Sky. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. For the record, I am submitting a total of 7 photos. One is dated July 29th, 2022. 2 are dated August 19th, 2022. 2 dated September 23rd, 2022. And 2 dated October 3rd, 2022. 8407 South Indian River Drive was found in violation of 38-26 abandoned property junk, trash, and debris to include unserviceable vehicles and construction debris on the property. Section 38-97 prohibited acts of excessive overgrowth in grass and weeds. A notice of violation letter was issued on August 2nd, 2022 with a compliance date of August 16th, 2022. The notice to appear letter was issued on August 23rd, 2022 for the Code Board hearing today on October 5th, 2022. The service for notice to appear was completed by certified mailing on August 27th, 2022. As of today, the property still remains in violation. I have had contact with the family representative of the owner of the property.
Okay, very good. All right, can you help us out here? You in violation or is it not?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, so where are we at? What's happening?
Well, it's been a long road of just terrible things happening. My mother died a year ago, and after that, things were difficult. Health problems. I had surgeries, and having to recover from them made it difficult for me to get anything done. I have the help of just a couple friends, and lately they've been not available because they're working overtime in their own jobs, and I can't take them away from that. I have organized plans to be able to deal with this, but it's slow going, and it's very difficult because I'm being asked to accomplish many things at once, and I can only work on one thing at a time.
Obviously, this didn't happen yesterday.
Right.
How long ago, how many years ago did it happen?
Oh, wasn't even, the carport only came down,
A year ago?
I'm not sure. I think it was about a year and a half ago.
Okay. The point being, it's down, it was down then, and it's been like a year, year and a half, and nothing's been done. Now, to come forward and say, okay, here it is, now, oh my gosh, now I gotta do all this stuff, it's been, it's been, and I know you've had illness, I think you said.
Yes.
And we're sorry for that, but, this, we're gonna try to work with you, but you gotta do something with it, it has to be handled.
Yes, sir.
So your plan is?
The hardest part is getting things from one part of the property to another in Sugar Sand to get things out to the road from other parts of the property. I'm in the midst of repairing a trailer I have and a tractor that I have, which is, I have to dig out from under that carport, the tractor that pulls the trailer. Once I've got that, I can move things around the property rather quickly. But getting those two things done is my problem right now, unfortunately.
So have you been there for quite a while?
Excuse me?
Have you been there quite a while? Do
Yes,
you
sir.
live there?
Yes, sir. I've been here 36 years, sir.
So you've lived here that length of time? Okay, all right. Well, we're just trying to we need to get it done, that's all.
Yes,
How
sir.
much time, how much more time do you need?
I almost hate to give a number, because it seems every time I think I'm going to have something accomplished by a certain time, other things get in the way, my health or something, and I end up feeling rather foolish for having committed myself to a time. But as much time as you're willing to give me, I know I can get things done, starting in about, I'd say about 3 weeks to a month from now. I should be able to start really getting things moved around.
Think you can get it done by December 31st? We're at the 1st of October.
I think so, yes.
Okay. I have a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Give them
Unless you've
till
got-
next year.
What?
I would suggest giving them to next year, January, February.
Let him mow the grass. There's a lot of stuff he could do in the meantime.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
If you don't have enough time, talk to Ms. Guy and you can come back in and tell us. You need more time.
Okay.
Okay. I hereby move in reference to case number code 2208-108550 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination after hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation. We determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by December 30th, 2022, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, sir, you've been given till December 30th, okay?
Yes,
Please
sir.
do your best. Cut the bushes, do all of that, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of the violation
That's Ms.
hearings.
Guy.
Is there any paperwork I need?
End of the violation hearings, can we get roll call? Can we call?
Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
While they sound the halls?
Yes.
I
Yes.
have code number 2204-1079-87. The property owner is Eugene L. Williams and Patricia G. Williams. Case number code 2208-1085-87. Property owner Joseph Tenor, Erica Tenor of Fort Pierce. Case number code 2206-108349. The location of violation 5189 Melissa Lane, Fort Pierce. The property owner, William J. Clark. Case number code 2208-108558. The location of violation is 5712 Palm Drive, Fort Pierce. The property owner, Joshua A. Bowen. Case number CMD 107710. The location of violation 8301 Bayard Road, Fort Pierce. The property owner is Kurt J. Barani. Case number code 2207-108400, location of violation 138 Naranja Avenue, Port St. Lucie. The property owner, Lee D. Sage. Case number code 2206-108251, the location of violation 908 Shore Winds Drive A, Fort Pierce. The property owner, Kieran Casey. Says he's on Shoreside Drive, Hutchinson Island, Florida. I didn't know Hutchinson Island had an address that was specific to them. Case number code 2207-108524, the location of violation 1301 Juanita Avenue. The property in Fort Pierce, the property owner is Valerie R. Hanner Estate. Case number code 2208-108576, the location of violation 102 Finmore Court, Fort Pierce. The property owner, Evelyn Green. Case number code 2205-108182, location of violation 2901 Highway A1A, Fort Pierce. The property owner, LPR Property Group, Inc., out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. And I believe that's all.
That is it. The halls have been sounded.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Taylor, would you please?
I hereby move in the reference to the cases read into the record that the Code Enforcement Board enter an order finding these alleged violators are in default as they did not appear to protest the violations against them, and the board adopt the recommendations of staff as set forth on the agenda.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, folks, we're in the fine hearings. We're on number one, case number 106309 has been abated. We're on number two, case number 105745, 7909 San Carlos Drive, Franklin D. Resmondo Jr. Good morning.
How are you, sir? Good afternoon now.
Yeah, sorry it took so long. We saw you sitting there.
That's all right.
We tried. A lot of things happen. Please state your name, sir, and address, and you,
Frank
ma'am.
Resmondo, 7909 San Carlos Drive, Fort Pierce.
Yes, and ma'am, are you speaking?
Jennifer Resmondo, 7909 San Carlos Drive, Fort Pierce.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Moisey, please.
For the record, I am resubmitting one photo dated June 18, 2021, one photo dated December 20th, 2021, one photo dated February 15, 2022, two photos dated February 28, 2022, taken by Officer Morera, one photo dated May 31st, 2022, and I am submitting one photo dated September 8, 2022, one photo dated October 3rd, 2022, taken by Officer Morera. During my first inspection, I found a property located at 7909 San Carlos Drive in violation for Section 32-93, Operation and Parking of Motor Vehicle to please cease parking the trailer on the county's right-of-way. Section 8.00.03F, particular permitted accessory structures and uses, to remove the storage/pod container. I issued a notice of violation on June 18th, 2022, with a correction date of July 2nd, 2021. After getting no compliance, the notice to appear was posted on the property for the March 2nd, 2022 Code Board meeting on February 5th, 2022. At the March 2nd, 2022 Code Board meeting, the owner was present and the board made a decision to continue the case to the June 1st, 2022 Code Board meeting. At the June 1st, 2022 Code Board meeting, the owner was present and the board found the property in violation and gave a compliance date of September 7th, 2022. I have had contact with the owner. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, folks, you're still in violation, I believe, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, so this started way back in June, maybe before that, I don't know when we started this. So June 21 and June 22, and we're, it's going to be, it's been, what, a year?
About a year and 3 months, 4 months?
It's been a long time.
So we see that there's a trailer, looking at these pictures, of 10-3, that there's another trailer in front of your door. That's your trailer also?
That was the Tile Man's trailer.
Tile Man's trailer?
It has now been moved. We had the pod scheduled to be picked up on September the 24th.
Okay.
They postponed it. Then it was scheduled for October the 10th. And they've just since changed it now till October the 29th to pick it up.
Okay, but the pod's gonna be leaving the 29th.
The pod will be leaving, the trailer can go back on the driveway, the tile guy's got his trailer, and I can put the
Good.
Jeep in the driveway, problem
Okay.
solved.
So by the end of the month, you'll be done.
Pray to God.
Okay, all right. So probably on this, we'll probably go date certain and get it done and over with, so you folks won't have to keep coming back. I would think that would be the
great.
easiest thing.
And I'm sorry for y'all's
Board have any
inconvenience.
questions on this?
Based on my experience with pods, we need to stretch this out.
Yeah, in a hurry.
Whatever, but I just think date certain.
I agree.
Get it done and out of the way.
So I'm gonna attempt to stretch it out here till December 30th, and if
Okay.
you get it before then, talk to Ms. Moyes and it'll go away, and
Okay.
that's the end of that. I hereby move in reference to case number 105745 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff, that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violations and any previous violations, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting December 30th, 2022, with a maximum fine not to exceed $5,000.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdock, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
So call
Hopefully
Ms.
you're off the
Moyes.
hook.
I hope so, and I'm
Okay.
sorry y'all keep
Well, we
messing
tried
up
to,
with
we
us.
tried to ride with you as far as
did,
we
I
could.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good, that's good.
Thank
Thank
y'all
you,
very
hope you have a
much.
nice holiday.
There's a
Number
holiday?
3, case number 2204-108-015-2835 Hammond Road, Avanta 74 LLC. You look familiar, sir. What's your name?
Good afternoon. For the record, Brad Curry with EDC, representing Avante 74.
We wanted to see how long we could keep you sitting out there, sir.
Yes, I really enjoy being back here on my Wednesdays. I miss seeing you guys once a month, so it's been good to sit through this. I've had a hard time keeping my mouth shut back there, but I've tried my best.
Okay. Were you sworn in, sir?
No, man, no, sir, I was not.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Maury, please.
For the record, I am resubmitting one photo dated May 5th, 2022, one photo dated August 2nd, 2022, one photo dated July 18, 2022. For the record, I am submitting one photo dated on September 26, 2022, one photo dated October the 3rd, 2022. This case was brought to the August 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting for Section 11.05.00, Procedure for Obtaining Development Permits. Please obtain a zoning compliance permit. A notice of violation was issued on April the 29th, 2022, with a compliance date of May the 13th, 2022. After getting no compliance, certified notice to appear letter for the October 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting was issued on May 19, 2021. At the October 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting, the owner was not present. The case was found in default and given compliance date of September 9, 2022. In the past, I have made contact with the owner. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, thank you very much. So, sir, the question, yes or no?
Yes, we are in violation.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
So I was missing some of those dates that the gentleman was speaking of, but I wanted just to kind of go through where we are, and after hearing some of the cases that have come before me, they've been years in the process, and I felt pretty fortunate that we've only kind of been in it for a couple of months here. So I wanted just to state that out, and we'll talk about that a little bit as I go through here. Unfortunately, I know Mrs. Monahan is extremely upset with us because we weren't here on the August 3rd, 2022 hearing. Unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it's not for a lack of respect for the board. We respect this board, but for some reason or another, we did not get a notice on that date. So we have been working on this project since about June of this year. My understanding was that there was the original notice violation was issued on April 29th, and there was a notice to appear issued at the end of May 23rd, 2022, based on the information I found on the internet. I wanted to say, so what happened is my client bought this property. It's industrial property, has industrial land use, industrial zoning. And as we've heard many times today, I think a lot of people expect that if you buy a piece of property with industrial zoning or industrial land use, you kind of go in and do whatever you want to do. Truck storage is allowed in the industrial land use and zoning, so it is an allowed use. It's not like they're violating it from a use perspective, but they are violating because we do not have site plan approval. Again, as you've heard many times today. The applicant went by themselves to a pre-application meeting with St. Lucie County. I believe it was May 26, 2022. I happened to be at that meeting when they were there and spoke with the applicant, and we got signed up. So May 26th, we got signed up, and we started working 1st of June. The first step in the process is to do a conceptual site plan, show what the client wants to do. We show drainage, we show water, we show sewer, we show parking, we show all of the things that are required as part of the site plan approval process. And I'm happy to say that at this moment we do have a site plan that both I'm happy with, the client's happy with, and I believe we can submit this to the county. I forgot to mention the property owner is here, her and her husband are here, and be happy to get up and speak with anything if you have any questions for them. This site plan process for this, they're going to start out with a couple of different phases. They want to do some truck storage at first, but they really have, their main goal is to have 2 buildings on this property that will be flex warehouse space. So a little office in the front and a garage space in the back. That really is that incubator space. It was interesting to hear that the couple that was here earlier today moving from their house to another building. That's exactly what this group would like to do. The site plan approval process would be an administrative site plan approval process, which means it doesn't have to go through all the way to the Board of County Commissioners. I expect, based on my experience, it's about a 3-month process for site plan approval on this project. It was, again, another thing I thought was interesting today is they were asking about when a staff report was going to be done, and I laughed to myself because staff reports these days are really difficult to get. But based on my experience, I think I can get those in 3 months. And then we have to go through what's the site development permit process, which is your actual construction plans, getting that permitted through South Florida and all the other state and regional agencies. So that's about another 3 months. So I think in 6 months from now, we should be able to be breaking ground on this project. So I'm here today to ask that the fine be postponed. I really like coming in and giving you guys an update rather than
You just
being a
came to
fine.
see us, that's all.
But if we could get the either have this fine hearing continue to April the 5th, or give us until April the 5th to get everything off the property. That would be the option. So
That's
I think
when
it's
the
gonna be about 6
permitting,
months.
the permitting and everything
Yeah, we
would
should be breaking ground in 6 months is my estimate.
That's your estimate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do those folks know that they have a pretty good guy working for them?
I think so.
Okay, I just thought I'd mention that. And that's a little free quote, folks.
So shall we just continue it till the April
That's what
meeting?
if I were on the board, that's what I would do.
Gentlemen, do you have any
Yes, I
thoughts or
agree.
comments?
That's
Huh?
fine.
I agree.
Okay.
Mr. Waters?
You cool with it?
I'm with the crowd.
Okay, I hereby move in reference to case number code 2204-1080-15 that the Code Enforcement Board continue this case to the Code Enforcement Board hearing on April the 5th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, is a second by Mr.
Waters.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, sir, that's me.
Okay, all right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Okay, there you go. And I
Thank
wanna,
you.
I wanna tell those folks also, just a point of information, this is kinda off the record. He came here, went to school for a long time to learn what to say, so that's why he did so well today.
We taught him well.
Okay. See you, Brad. Okay, number 4, case number CMD 107-282, 6016 Buchanan Drive, Fort Pierce, Florida. Terry W. Day and Margaret M. Day. Hi, folks. Sorry it took so long.
Let's keep it moving.
Please state your name and
My name's
address.
Terry Day,
Address.
6016 Buchanan Drive, Fort Pierce.
Okay. And you,
Margaret Day, 6016 Buchanan Drive, Fort Pierce.
try and speak into the
You
microphone when
affirm
you.
to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just bear with us. We're gonna hear from Josh.
Yes, sir. For the record, I am submitting 4 photos dated January 28th, 2022, and 2 photos dated October 3rd, 2022. 6016 Buchanan Drive was found in violation of section 110501. A permit is required for the roof addition to the detached garage. A notice of violation letter was issued on January 28th, 2022, with a compliance date of February 11th, 2022. A notice to appear letter was issued on June 6, 2022 for the Code Board hearing of August 3rd, 2022. At the August 3rd, 2022 Code Enforcement hearing, the case was found in default violation. Permit number BLDR 2205-000783 was applied for on May 27th, 2022, and it's in review pending response to comment, and there's a variance that has been applied for as well. And I've been in contact with property owner, Mr. Day, and he's here today to request more time.
Okay. Is on that permit number, it's in review. Is there any special thing on that, Ms. Wanda?
We need details of the cricket and the flashing.
Pardon me?
We need details of the cricket and the flashing on the roof.
Okay, were you aware of that, sir?
Yes.
Oh,
The
you were?
engineer,
Okay.
the engineer redid it, and it won't submit in until I get the variance taken care of.
Okay. And time frame, what are we working on here?
Well, the variance, they're requesting a new survey of the property.
Ooh, okay.
And so I'm
Nothing's
stuck right
easy.
there.
Okay. All right, so, but you're working on that actively now?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So, if we take you into 23, you'll have it done, you think? By February 23?
I would like to continue this to maybe March.
A motion?
I would
Well, you
certainly go-
figure your date. I'd like to know why you didn't show up at the meeting and you were.
I misplaced the date. I was to be here, and I misplaced what day it was.
Oh, man, your life would have been so much easier.
Yes, I know.
And, so anyway, folks, we're looking for a motion.
What are you thinking, March 1st?
Yep. Mr. Chairman,
This
I'm,
is the fault, this is the violation. I mean,
well,
Yeah,
what
this
I'd
is
like
the
to do
fine-
is just
the fine
table
hearing.
it until March
okay, and we'll see where they are.
and see where they are, and then
Okay.
we'll do.
So you're postponing the fine hearing, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That's what you'd like to do?
Yes, I'd like to
Okay.
postpone the fine hearing until the March 1st, 2023 Code Board
Okay.
meeting.
All right,
Read the case
whatever
number.
you, go ahead and make the motion,
Gotta
and
read
we'll go
it.
from there.
I read the case number into it.
Oh. Pardon me.
Oh, you can just.
What page is that? Yeah,
A continuation is number 8.
number 8. Mr. Chairman, I move in regards to case number CMD 107282 that the Code Enforcement Board continue this case to the Code Enforcement Board hearing on March 1st, 2023.
Second.
March 1st, 2023, and I got 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, March 1st, 2023. And I'm sure by then, you'll have it all done and it's gonna be wonderful.
But
Oh,
if
yes.
you don't, make sure you're here,
Yeah.
otherwise it's gonna be a fine.
Okay,
No,
will do.
but just get with Josh if you need to on anything and all that, okay?
Okay,
Thank
I'll
you
stay
for
in
waiting,
touch.
I'm sorry it took so long. Things happen.
Yep,
Okay, we tried.
thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
Okay, number 3, case number 2206-10830, number 5. 2206-10830, 4200 Metzger Road, Fort Pierce, Florida, Precision Rentals and Investment LLC. I guess they don't care. Okay, we're looking for a motion on this one?
We gotta hear from
Let's hear the
Lorraine.
case.
Oh, yes. Okay, Moisey, go ahead, Miss Moisey.
For the record, I am submitting 3 photos dated June 21st, 2022, 1 photo dated July 12th, 2022, 1 photo dated August 1st, 2022, 1 photo dated September 26th, 2022, 1 photo dated October 3rd, 2022. This case was brought before the August 3rd, 2022 Code Board for Section 38-26 for outside storage. The property owner was not present at that meeting. The case was found in default and given a compliance date of September 9th, 2022. I issued a notice of violation on June 21st, 2022 and gave a compliance date of July 5th, 2022. After getting no compliance, a notice to appear was issued on July 12, 2022 for the August 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting, and the owner was not present at that meeting. Again, the case was found in default and given a compliance date of September 9th, 2022. I have had no contact with the owner. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, very good.
I have that motion.
Yes.
I hereby move in reference to case number code 2206-108303 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violations, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting September 10th, 2022, with a maximum fine not to exceed $10,000.
Second.
Second by Mr. Waters. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, number 6.
Am I, I'm confused here. This looks like the same.
Pardon me?
Well, number 6 and number 5 seem to be exactly the same, aren't they?
One is a vacant property. They're right next to one another. One has a structure on it, the other one doesn't,
Oh,
and they
okay.
do have
All
the
right.
same address, different
Okay,
parcels.
So,
All right.
2206-108-305, 4200 Metzger Road, Fort Pierce, Florida, Precision Rental and Investments LLC. Yes, ma'am.
For the record, I am submitting 1 photo dated June 21st, 2022, 1 photo dated July 11th, 2022, 1 photo dated August 1st, 2022, 1 photo dated September 26th, 2022, and 1 photo dated October 3rd, 2022. This case was brought before the August 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting for Section 38-26 for outside storage. I issued a notice of violation on June 21st, 2022, and gave a compliance date of July 5th, 2022. After getting no compliance, a notice to appear was issued on July 12th, 2022 for the August 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting. At the August 3rd, 2022 Code Board meeting, the owner was not present. The case was found in default and given a compliance date of September 9th, 2022. I have had no contact with the owner. As of October 3rd, 2022, the property remains in violation.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Want me to go again?
Please.
I hereby move in reference to case number code 2206-108305 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff, that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violations, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting September the 10th, 2022, with a maximum fine not to exceed $10,000.
Second. Okay.
Second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, number 7, case number 220610823131 2913 Sherwood Lane, Fort Pierce, Florida. Min Chen.
And abated. Is that abated?
Oh, it has been abated? Ooh, okay, I'm sorry. Hey, case number 2206108230 2909 Sherwood Lane, Fort Pierce, Florida. Rito Medina. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For the record, I am submitting a total of 4 photos, one dated June 8th, 2022, one dated August 2nd, 2022, another one dated for the reinspection on 9/12/2022, and one dated 10/3/2022. There's also a submittal of 2 images of property appraiser photo and the building sketch of the residence from the St. Lucie County property appraiser. 2909 Sherwood Lane was found in violation of section 11.05.01, building without a permit, renovations and alterations done to carport. A notice of violation letter was issued on June 8th, 2022, with a compliance date of June 23rd, 2022. The notice to appear letter was issued on June 24th, 2022, for the code board hearing of August 3rd, 2022. The service for notice to appear was completed by posting on the property on July 13th, 2022. The code board hearing on August 3rd, 2022, owner was not present and case was found in violation by default with a compliance date of September 9th, 2022. I've had no contact with the occupant or owner of this property, and as of today's date, the property still remains in violation.
Okay, looking for a motion, folks.
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Yes.
motion.
Yes, sir.
I hereby move in reference to case number code 2206-108320 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination.
That's not it. Isn't it 8230?
It's, read that number again, the code.
Yeah.
You did, you put the 3 where the 2 is.
Oh, 108230?
Yeah.
230.
230.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You
Maybe
put
it's
320
He
before
said
that.
320.
I think you did.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
well, let's
But then-
start again. Not a problem.
Go
There
ahead,
you go.
please.
Start anew.
I
please.
hereby move in reference to case number code 2206108230
Yes.
that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff, that the violations still exist, and having considered the gravity of the violations, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violation, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting September 10th, 2022, with a maximum fine not to exceed $5,000.
Very
Second.
good. Second by Mr. Waters. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, folks, that's the end of the fine hearings. Now, thank you, ma'am. Okay, now we're going to fine reduction hearings, case number 104754, location of violation 804 Penn Lane, Fort Pierce, Florida. Larry Zimmerman. Been sitting back there waiting all this time. Alex C. Haver, is that you?
Yep, Alex Seahaver.
Okay, please state your name and address and be sworn in.
Yep, Alex Seahaver, with regards to 8004 Penny Lane.
Is that your address?
Yeah, our company owns the property, Highland Properties.
Okay. Raise your right hand. You affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, talk to us, sir.
Yeah, our company purchased this property from Larry Zimmerman. It had some outstanding code violations. I believe there was 2 separate cases. And I corresponded with Huascar Marrera from the Code Enforcement Department. He met with our company, I believe somebody from our company on the property, to kind of walk through what needed to be done. When we purchased it, the previous owner had, I guess you would call it a tenant, who was no longer paying and was just like a problem tenant, and it was a lot of their belongings, and they'd kind of let the property get a little downtrodden. So we inherited this tenant. We had to evict them. And once the eviction process was complete, we were able to bring the property into compliance. So,
How long did it take you?
I believe it took, maybe 3 or 4 months to get the eviction complete, and then, maybe, 30 or 60 days after then to bring it into compliance. I think we thought that it was all handled at that point. We didn't realize that there were still some fines outstanding on one of the cases, and so that's what we're here for, is to try to get those rectified, to see if it was possible to get a reduction on those.
As far as staff goes, how long was this, have several, how long has it been?
Not long. The violation was cited back in February 9th of 2021, and it abated on January 31st of this year. So not,
Okay.
11 months?
All right, very good.
And this is it on the screen?
Yes. As of yesterday, it looks perfect. Looks very nice. Did a
Except for
great
those
job.
dead trees in the front yard.
Yeah.
What's the intent with that?
And we have a staff's recommendation here, which I think is more than fair. Do you have pictures, you said?
It's on the screen.
No, I thought you were looking at something else.
Oh, this is from the other day, the
Oh.
packet that they gave us. Staff
Oh,
gave
this
us.
is the last,
That was his request. What is your intent to do with those trees in the front yard, sir?
I'm not sure. I mean, we could have those, I guess, taken out. I'm not sure.
You may want to talk to the environmental people.
Yeah, not without a permit,
How
right?
many violations? I didn't
But
look at the back of that page. and
all
see.
chopped up like that
Yeah.
doesn't wash with me.
Okay,
Either remove them or plant something new,
okay.
please.
I would recommend that we do staff's recommendation.
Okay. So how much is the fine? They
It's on the
took
book.
away my
It's
paper.
on the- oh, I'm sorry.
$5,000. I'll make the motion if you like.
Okay.
Hereby move in reference to case number 104754 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. The fine of $5,000 imposed by the Code Enforcement Board is hereby reduced to the amount of 75%, which is $1,250. This reduced fine must be paid within 30 days of this hearing, or the fine will revert back to the original fine of $5,000.
Second.
Plus the 200 prosecution, or you,
No,
I
yeah.
think, you know what, I don't know if it has to be in there or not.
It
says-
is in there.
no reduction of prosecution costs.
It does. I say we eliminate the prosecution cost of $200.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Mr. Murdoch. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Monahan?
Well, yes, ma'am, I'll vote for that. I hate taking away the prosecution costs, but since he did a nice job, exception of the trees, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Fogg?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murdoch?
Yes, ma'am.
What time is it?
Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
12:30. Okay, sir. All right.
Okay, thank you
got
very
it.
much.
Pay it within 30 days, and you got it. You saved yourself quite a bit of money.
Okay, and is there somewhere I can get a copy of that, or just?
What? I'm sure staff will take care of that for you.
Okay, great.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
All right, very good.
Danielle
Have a
right
good
there.
day.
She'll
We're
take
going to
care of it.
adjourn at 12:30. Thank you, Catherine. You took a little